Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, everyone. Necromancer, what the hell just wants to plant trees? Chapter 51. Gone. It's time for me to take the bone dragon out for a spin. There was an attack on my oak forest. Who is he? So disgusting. Chong and riding a bone dragon for a ride. Suddenly, I received news that someone was attacking. Suddenly it was like eating a fly. Don't mention how uncomfortable it is. Go back to the oak forest. I want to see who is attacking my oak forest. Then let's see if he can beat my bone dragon. Chong and shouted towards bone dragon. Bone dragon immediately adjusted its direction, turned back toward the oak forest. And by Chong An's side, because none of the attacks harmed the oak forest. Leah did not sense Yuran's attack. But after Chong An mentioned it, Leah is the soul of the forest. I immediately saw what was going on in the oak forest. Father, I saw it. It's a green dragon and a group of ferocious beasts attacking us. That guy must have taken a liking to me. Want to build a nest in my body. That's why we clashed with the undead army. Let's go back quickly. Teach that stupid green dragon a lesson. Let him know how powerful we are. See the dead souls that keep dying in the woods. Leah acted even angrier than Chong'an. Although she doesn't like undead creatures. But those undead in the woods. But the undead summoned by Chong'an. Even if you don't like it, he couldn't be killed by a green dragon that jumped out of nowhere. In the oak forest, led by the powerful combat power of the Death Reaper, coupled with the coordinated attacks of a bunch of black warriors and ghosts, the dozen emerald dream beasts summoned by Yuran were killed one after another. It turned into a ball of green breath and dispersed between heaven and earth. But the moon soars above the oak forest. But he didn't pay attention to this. Because, in this oak forest below, she didn't find that it was supposed to be here. A necromancer performing rituals in the underworld. Except for the groups of undead, there are no living people at all. Could it be the reason why the breath of death erupted? It's not like there are necromancers performing Hades rituals. Is it simply caused by the existence of this undead army? In Yuran's mind, such thoughts emerged. Then the more she thought about it, the more likely it was that she felt it was possible. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to search the entire oak forest. The necromancer is nowhere to be found. No necromancers perform Hades rituals. This is good news. However, such a powerful undead army is gathered here. It is indeed a huge safety hazard. We must destroy them all. Especially this level 61 boss monster. Looking at the Death Reapers killing ferocious beasts randomly, Yuran's eyes were full of caution. But he wasn't afraid of it. Instead, he was thinking about how to kill the Death Reaper. This is her confidence in her hidden professional power. But just as she was thinking about these things, roar, a terrifying roar came from the sky. Enter into Yuran's ears. Yuran couldn't help but look up at the sky. Then, she saw a huge bone claw. He slapped her hard. Boom! The terrifying power bombarded the green dragon that Yuran transformed into. The power of this blow is extremely huge. Even Yuran, who transformed into a green dragon, couldn't resist it at all. The huge body turned directly into a cannonball. Boom! It hit the ground hard. A big deep hole was made. Countless spider web-like cracks spread around the pit. So strong. This is not a power below level 60. Yuran was hit hard to the ground. I just feel like all the organs in my body are twitching. Suffered very serious injuries. During the struggle, she couldn't help but look up. Looking at the being who knocked her away. Dragon. Bone dragon. Tens of meters in diameter. The wingspan is hundreds of meters wide. A bone dragon that was far bigger than the green dragon she transformed into. Then, she threw another reconnaissance technique at the bone dragon. Open black lens bracket monster close black lens bracket. Bone dragon. Level 70. It's over. Just see the level of the bone dragon. I haven't seen the skills that bone dragon has yet. Yuran's heart is already full of death. A level 61 boss level Death Reaper. She couldn't solve it head on. They can only rely on the fact that the Death Reaper cannot fly. Come figure out how to deal with the Death Reaper. Now another one appears and is even more powerful. And he also has a bone dragon with level 70 flying ability. How can there be any hope of victory here? Let alone victory. I may even lose my life here today. I thought I could complete career advancement. Step into the threshold of the strong. I didn't expect that they didn't even arrive at the battlefield on the front lines of the scars of the sky. I'm going to die before I leave. Yu Ran felt extremely desperate. At the same time, I understood. The previous explosion of death aura. It's not some Hades ritual, nor is it a gathering of a large number of undead. But because of the appearance or birth of this skull dragon. However, even in the face of this desperate situation, Yu Ran still hasn't given up. I am the strongest student at Tianfu Druid Academy. He is a hidden professional owner who is favored by the gods. Even if I die, I will take away a few more undead souls. A green dragon transformed from Moon Dai. He roared at the bone dragon in the sky. Get ready for the last-ditch effort. But she didn't wait for her rant to end. The huge bone dragon landed first. And before she could react, he stretched out his huge bone claws and pinned her to the ground. She couldn't move at all. Then she heard a girl's voice. Father, don't kill this green dragon yet. Father, don't kill it yet. Just as the bone dragon pinned the green dragon to the ground. When he was about to bite off the head of this green dragon, Leah took Chang'an's hand and said, "What's wrong? Is there a problem?" Chang'an first stopped the bone dragon's subsequent attack. Then he looked at Leah suspiciously. It would be a shame to kill it like this. Leah said, "Leave it to me. I'll take it to the Emerald Dream. Super Big Guy can help me control it. Let it become the guardian beast of our forest. Take control of this green dragon. Let this green dragon become the guardian beast of the forest." This is a good suggestion. After excluding the undead army, the only two guardians of the oak forest are Leah and Yaya. And this green dragon was able to fight the undead army he left in the forest for so long. The strength is definitely there. If you leave it as the guardian beast of this forest. Sometimes I need to go out with the undead army. The safety of the oak forest is even more guaranteed. Thinking of this, Chang'an nodded. Leah is so smart. You actually thought of things that I didn't even think of. It's up to you, let's take it. Let it become the guardian beast of our forest. Leah was encouraged by the compliment. He spoke more positively to Chang'an. Then let's go down quickly. Just let me get close to it. I can take it to the Emerald Dream. Good, Chang'an nodded. Take Leah and Yaya with you. Walking towards the green dragon who was pinned to the ground by the bone dragon. Soon, Chang'an took the lead. And Yu Ran's heart was filled with emotion when she saw Chang'an's appearance. There was also a shocking wave immediately. Human, it's the Necromancer. My previous guess was correct. There really is a Necromancer performing Hades rituals. Only when I come over. He just stopped the ceremony temporarily and went to do other things. Wait, this is... Yu Ran's heart suddenly ignited with raging anger. A pair of vertical pupils stared at Chang'an. I can't wait to stare Chang'an, the degenerate Necromancer, to death with my eyes. But soon, after seeing it, he followed Chang'an. After Leah and Yaya shouted, "Father," one after another. Yu Ran felt that her worldview had been strongly impacted. Goblins and dryads, these two natural creatures. Why are you following a fallen Necromancer? And you haven't suffered any abuse or persecution. You're even so happy to call the Necromancer, father. In the knowledge Yu Ran learned from Tianfu Druid Academy, there is no intersection between the Necromancer and the natural creature at all. Even if there is, it is an evil death mage who harms natural creatures. Or maybe it's the natural creatures driving away the Necromancer. But now, it's right in front of her. What happened was that two natural creatures called a Necromancer his father. My brain was blurry before I died. So much so that you saw bizarre hallucinations. Yu Ran didn't believe it. She didn't want to believe it. What happened before his eyes was real. To her, natural creatures and necromancers were so close. It's as outrageous as the old sow in the tree and the mouse serving as the cat's bridesmaid. But whether she wanted to believe it or not, what was happening before her eyes? Nothing changed at all because of her disbelief. Instead, it became even more outrageous. Big guy, I am the forest soul of this forest. Will you be my guardian beast? As long as you are willing, we can forgive you for attacking us. And I'll let you build a nest in my forest. Join me and accept the protection of my father and his undead army. Forest soul, this goblin in front of me. Turns out to be a forest soul. Yu Ran's first reaction was disbelief. So she threw a reconnaissance skill directly at Leah. Boss. Fairy Queen, Soul of the Forest. Level 15 King. Open black lens bracket talent close black lens bracket. ... Real. This goblin. It's really the soul of nature. Yu Ran felt as if his head had been hit by a sledgehammer. The whole person became dizzy. A forest spirit calling a necromancer father. The two parties who were supposed to be enemies of life and death became father and daughter. Oh my god, what is happening to this world? Why am I seeing something so outrageous? Yu Ran's eyes were full of confusion after her three views were shattered. She no longer knows. Are you in a real world? When Yu Ran doubted her life. Leah lost her reconnaissance technique to Yu Ran. He also let out an exclamation. Ah, it feels so uncomfortable. This guy is not a real green dragon. Leah grimaced. He said to Chang'an with a sad look on his face. Father, this guy used the same reconnaissance technique as you. He's not a real green dragon. He's just like you, a professional in this world. Not a real green dragon. But a professional. What profession can turn a person into a green dragon? Chang'an was slightly startled at first. Then he quickly reacted. Druid. Transform into a moon leopard, a giant bear, a saber-toothed tiger. These are all the abilities of druid professionals specializing in transformation. In addition to these most common druid transformation forms, some druids with special opportunities, or owners of special professions, rare professions, or hidden professions in the druid profession series. You can also transform into top extraordinary creatures such as arcane phoenixes, dragons, and titans. If the green dragon in front of me was a human, that should be a druid professional who can transform into a dragon. But the problem is, a druid professional, why attack your own forest? And why would force be used in a place like the forest? Those druid professionals, not everyone cares about the woods. Wouldn't the forest be destroyed if it was not necessary? Think of this. Chang'an looked at his forest. It really is. The green dragon fought so fiercely with the undead army before. Not even a single tree in this forest of his was attacked. Not even a little damage. If it were a real green dragon. You don't care about the forest so much. No mercy at all when it comes to destruction. Belonging is proved from the side. The green dragon held down by the bone dragon as a druid. But now it's confirmed. This green dragon is a druid professional. Chang'an was even more confused. This is great, a druid who can turn into a green dragon. Why do you come here to attack your own forest? Chang'an couldn't figure out the reason. Decided to find the answer from the other party. You shouldn't be a real green dragon. But a druid professional, right? Tell me, who are you? And your identity. Chang'an kicked the green dragon. Yu Ran was kicked by Chang'an. I also woke up from the state of doubting life. He looked at Chang'an who was interrogating him in front of him. He looked next to Chang'an again. Leah and Yaya looked disgusted and disgusted. A creature of nature. And he is also someone trusted by natural creatures like the forest soul. Even if he is a necromancer. It shouldn't be one. A fallen necromancer who performs rituals in the underworld, right? Yu Ran thought about it for a long time. In the end, it is because of trust in natural creatures and the soul of the forest. Instead, he chose to respond to Chang'an's words. My name is Yu Ran, and I am from Tianfu University. Students of Druid Academy, Tianfu University, students of Druid College. Chang'an was stunned again. Tianfu University is the best professional university in Kyushu. The instructors of the school will take the students into various dangerous dungeons. Cultivate the students who enter it from level 1 to level 60. Students are then left to conduct their graduation assessment alone. That is to go to the front line of the marks of the heavens. Complete career advancement from level 60 to level 61. Chang'an, who first awakened the necromancer profession. If it weren't for the activation of the balanced talent, he should have entered the gifted university by now. Follow the instructors from Tianfu University. Enter into high-intensity dungeons and frantically spawn monsters to upgrade. But because of the awakening of the balanced talent, Chang'an embarked on a completely different path. That is to stay in Feng'an City and work hard to plant trees. As a result, they were all left to plant trees in Feng'an City. Another student from the talented university pops up to attack his own forest. This is really. Chang'an was speechless for a while. I don't know how to express my emotions. With this speechless emotion, Chang'an continued to ask Yu Ran. You are a student of Tianfu University. Why are you attacking my forest for no reason? Yu Ran glanced at Ji Yulong, who was still holding her down. After being held down by the bone dragon for such a long time, she was able to confirm it completely. The breath of death she sensed before. It is not the breath of death that erupts from the Hades ritual, but it comes from this skull dragon. So he responded to Chang'an very cooperatively. I sensed an explosion of death aura before. I thought there was a corrupted death mage performing Hades rituals. I wanted to come here to stop the underworld ceremony from being held, so. Yu Ran did not tell what happened next, because that's what's happening now. And Chang'an heard Yu Ran's explanation. Finally figured out the situation. It turns out that someone is not targeting his forest and himself, but a druid who wants to slay demons and defend the law. Summon yourself to the bone dragon to cause an explosion of death aura. It was a misunderstanding that a fallen death mage was performing an evil ritual. This is really, how can I put it? Fortunately, the oak trees in the oak forest were not damaged. He only lost some cannon fodder skeleton soldiers. No real loss was suffered. Otherwise, even if the other party is a student of Tianfu University, this misunderstanding today, it will also end with the death of this Tianfu student. But, even if it is a misunderstanding, even if it doesn't cause too much damage, this matter can't just go away like that. Since this is a misunderstanding, I can let you go. However, death penalty can be avoided, but living crime cannot be avoided. Chang'an looked at the green dragon and said, I need you to compensate me. Can you accept just compensation, instead of just killing me? It seems that this necromancer is really not a corrupted necromancer. He may not even be the necromancer I thought he was. Yu Ran looked next to Chang'an. Leah and Yaya show great dependence on Chang'an. He opened his mouth and asked Chang'an, what kind of compensation do you want? What kind of compensation do you want? A smile appeared on Chang'an's lips. What's missing most about growing your own trees and expanding your forest? Seed, sapling, no, neither, but the essence of nature. Who produces natural essence? Druid professional. So isn't this compensation requirement clear enough? The essence of nature. Chang'an looked at Yu Ran and said, I need lots of nature. You just need to pay me 100 bottles. No. 1,000 bottles. You just need to give me 1,000 bottles of natural essence. I entered the Emerald Dream before to negotiate with those druids. I want to buy natural essence from them. As a result, he didn't even say a word to those druids. Now I finally caught a druid professional. Moreover, he was a druid who took the initiative to attack himself and then was defeated by his own backhand. Naturally, it's time to make a big deal. You stinking druid, please give me a blast of natural essence. And for the compensation Chang'an wants. Yu Ran's reaction was one of confusion. The essence of nature, and there are so many natural essences. You're a necromancer, someone who deals with the undead. Why do you need something like natural essence that deals with plants? Are you sure you want natural essence? Yu Ran thought that she must have heard wrong before. Or maybe the necromancer was wrong. So she decided to ask to make sure. And Chang'an also gave her a definite answer. Sure, what I want is the natural essence. How about it, can you give it to me? Really the essence of nature. A necromancer demands compensation. It turns out that the natural essence is really useless to the necromancer. And there are two natural creatures beside this guy. One of them is the soul of the forest. He has lived for more than 20 years. I've only heard of it in the Emerald Dream, but I have never seen it before. This guy, is he really a necromancer? Yu Ran suddenly became suspicious. Is Chang'an's profession a necromancer profession? But doubt is doubt. If you should answer it, you should answer it. Yes, I can compensate you with 1,000 bottles of natural essence. But I don't have so much natural goodness in me right now. Can you let me go back to Tianfu University to get it back to you? Go to Tianfu University to get it back. What a liar. Who knows if you will come back if you go back. Even bringing a group of classmates, teachers, etc. over to beat me. No, Chang'an decisively refused. Can't you druids condense the essence of nature on your own? Since you can't take out so much at once, then stay with me and condense the essence of nature for me. When did you give me 1,000 bottles of natural essence? I will let you go anytime. Condensate 1,000 bottles of natural essence before leaving. Yu Ran suddenly felt dizzy. Does this necromancer know the concept of 1,000 bottles of natural essence? Even if he is a hidden professional among level 60 druids, only 60 drops of natural essence can be condensed in one day. That's 3 bottles. 1,000 bottles, it takes nearly a year to condense. To condense 1,000 bottles of natural essence, it would take me close to a year to do it. Yu Ran decided to break up with Chang'an. I'm going to the traces of the heavens for a professional advancement mission. I really can't stay here for a year. 1 year. That is indeed a long time. But Chang'an did not relent. Yu Ran could only continue. Okay, I'll stay here with you. Then write a letter and send it back to Tianfu University. Let someone redeem me with the essence of nature. Is this okay? Let people use the essence of nature to redeem people. That's okay, but why does this feel a bit like kidnapping? If Tianfu University misunderstands that he is performing a Hades ritual like this druid, I feel like this druid was kidnapped by me. What if we send a large number of professionals to rescue people? Chang'an didn't want to see this happen. So after thinking for a long time, he opened his mouth and said to Yueran, you stay here with me first and let me condense the natural essence for a month. After 1 month is over, you can write another letter and send it back to Tianfu University. Let them use the essence of nature to redeem people. Yaya cooperates with Leah. It can condense 65 drops of natural essence in 1 day. Plus the druids is 125 drops. After a month, you can get 3,750 drops of natural essence. If all is used to cultivate oak trees, that's 1,250 oak trees. Even if it won't summon stronger undead creatures, you can also summon 2 bone dragons and 3 death knights. Until then, he has 3 level 70 bone dragons in hand. He is the strongest professional in the world. Even if Tianfu University really misunderstood, a large group of professionals came to save people. You can easily get it yourself. Then use this excuse to blackmail them severely. Ask them for a lot of natural essences. Chang'an was planning his own fishing law enforcement plan. Yu Ran is also thinking about the feasibility of Chang'an's method. It takes a long time for professionals from level 60 to level 61 to advance. A delay of 1 year is unacceptable, but a month's delay is still acceptable. Exactly within this month, you can also stay in this forest. Take a good look at what's going on here. Find out about this necromancer. How on earth did you coax these 2 natural creatures? But, if only it were shorter. Yu Ran looked at Chang'an. I want to try bargaining with Chang'an again. But I felt it. After the bone dragon claws pressing on his body, Yu Ran finally gave up the idea. Just 1 month. Save the necromancer the wrath of haggling. Let him kill me. Because of the opposition between life and death, Yu Ran doesn't like the necromancer profession. But it is undeniable. Many necromancers. He has made many contributions to this world and to mankind. In those frontline battlefields where the war is most intense, the most active and eye-catching profession is the necromancer most of the time. They are also one of the most powerful forces protecting the world. As the strongest student of the Druid College of Tianfu University, I am one of the strongest students in the Druid Academy of Tianfu University. Died on the battlefield of the Scars of the Heavens. Even if he died in the battle with the cultists, forget it. He died at the hands of one of his own, who protected the world just like himself. That's really not worth it. So after some psychological struggle and decision-making, Yu Ran agreed to Chang'an's proposal. Okay, I accept your proposal. In the next month, I will help you condense the essence of nature every day. Wait until a month later and then ask my classmates to redeem me with something. Chang'an nodded with satisfaction. Deal done. Now I will let the bone dragon release you. But I'm warning you in advance. If only after I let the bone dragon release you, you have any intention of escaping or attacking me, I will kill you directly without mercy. So, for your own sake, and for the sake of the natural essence that I need, after I release you, don't do anything unusual, do you understand? The green dragon transformed into Yuran nodded. I understand what Chang'an said. And after getting a positive reply, Bone Dragon also immediately retracted the bone claws that suppressed Yuran. But he didn't leave directly. But it still stands aside, staring at Yuran with eager eyes. As long as Yuran has the slightest abnormal behavior, the Bone Dragon will launch a fatal killing move immediately. Fortunately, Yuran did not act as Chang'an was prepared to do. Instead, he asked Chang'an very cooperatively, I'm going to cancel my dragon form now. Can I go back to my human form? Yes, this attitude is very cooperative. It seems that this druid doesn't want to take risks. Chang'an's vigilance dropped a lot, and nodded towards Yuran. Buzz. Waves of energy fluctuations were like a flat tire. It sprayed out in all directions from the green dragon's huge body. A burst of white air was set off, covering Yuran in it. And after all the white airflow dissipated, he has wheat skin, wears a bear skin, and wears an animal tooth necklace. Yuran exuded a wild aura, appeared in front of Chang'an and the other three. Woman. This druid can transform into a green dragon. Actually a woman. He thought this druid could transform into a green dragon. He's a 2-meter tall man with a muscular body. It turned out to be a woman. And still one in every sense of the word. They are all beauties, and they are also very good-looking beauties. But she's not that fair and skinny type of beauty. Rather, he is the type who is heroic and not inferior to men. However, there seems to be nothing wrong with being a beautiful woman. Or in other words, this is actually better. After all, we have to meet each other every day. A beautiful woman who looks very seductive. After all, he is better than a rough guy with a height of 2 meters and a body full of tendons, right? Thinking of this, Chang'an stopped paying attention to the gender of the other party. Instead, he continued to say to Yuran, very good. Our cooperation is off to a good start. But that doesn't mean I completely believe you. So, in order to prevent you from escaping, I will send an undead to monitor you. Said. A Death Reaper armed with a huge scythe. Riding a terrifying war horse, he came to Yuran. Okay, now you can do whatever you want. As long as you pay me the natural essence regularly every day. And just don't go 500 meters away from this oak forest. Yuran glanced at the Death Reaper. A strong aura of death emanating from the Death Reaper. It made her very uncomfortable as a nature professional. But there is no way, now people have to bow their heads under the eaves. So even though it's very uncomfortable, she also endured it. I'm going to condense the essence of nature. After leaving such a sentence, Yuran is followed by the Death Knight. Into the oak forest. Yuran went into the oak forest to condense the essence of nature. Chang'an and the three people were disrupted by Yuran like this. There is no thought of continuing to ride the bone dragon to the sky to fight dragons. Therefore, after letting the bone dragon return to hide underground in the oak forest, Chang'an picked up the shovel in his hand again. And the last bottle of natural essence I have left. The last bottle of natural essence. Hurry up and rest today. Then wait for the natural essence to come out tomorrow. With this last bottle of natural essence, and the 6 oak seeds that Yaya selected that could germinate, Chang'an came to the edge of the oak forest again. Continue the great cause of planting trees before summoning the bone dragon. While Chang'an continued to run to plant trees, Leah and Yaya. But he didn't follow Chang'an. Instead, he came near Yuran. I got it from this female druid. I feel a very strong sense of crisis. She is very dangerous. There is even a 9-point danger out of 10. She's definitely not as obedient as she appears. That big fool who works under my father will definitely not be able to keep an eye on her. We must keep an eye on her. We must not let her cause damage. Hidden among the oak canopy, Leah hides herself with leaves and branches. With a serious look on his face, he expressed his thoughts to Yaya. Yaya was also a little nervous because of Leah's cautious attitude. But it didn't come from Yuran. I felt the sense of crisis that Leah mentioned. But since Leah said so, Yaya will naturally not disbelieve Leah. She nodded carefully and said, I know, I'll be with Leah. Keep an eye on this female druid. I will never let him destroy the forest or hurt my father. Leah nodded with satisfaction. Yaya cheered and said, the two of us work together. I'll definitely keep an eye on her. Let her not do any bad things. with inexplicable hostility towards Yu-Ran. Leah and Yaya are two little guys. In this way, Yu-Ran was monitored with full concentration. And in the conversation between two little guys. As their surveillance target, moon dye that condenses the essence of nature. But he couldn't help but have a strange look on his face. Leah and Yaya thought they were hiding well. Rely on the blessing of the natural gods obtained in the Emerald Dream. As early as when they first started surveillance. Yu-Ran has already sensed their presence. She thought those two little guys were there. He came over and stared at her because he was curious about her. She was ready after the two little guys came over. Prepare to learn about their relationship with Chang'an from the two little guys. As a result, the exchange she expected did not come. On the contrary, she also heard the words of Leah and Yaya, who were very wary of her. What's going on in this world? Why are those two natural creatures so trusting and close to a necromancer? I am a natural professional with nature affinity attributes, but guarding against thieves as tightly as possible. In other words, necromancer is the profession that is closer to natural creatures. And natural professions are professions that are hostile to natural creatures. What happens in this oak forest? Yu-Ran becomes increasingly suspicious of life. I feel more and more that I am actually dreaming now. Otherwise, how could he have left like this today? But doubting life is doubting life. For what you promised yourself, you die will still finish it seriously. Therefore, even with the surveillance of the Death Knight, Leah and Yaya, you dying is also very fast. Drop after drop of natural essence is condensed in the hand. Then these condensed natural essences are condensed. All dropped into the vial containing the natural essence. It only takes 10 minutes. 3 bottles packed full of natural essence. It was placed in front of Yu-Ran. Finally the condensation is complete. Send this thing to that necromancer quickly. Condensing the essence of nature is like using mana. After the amount that can be condensed per day reaches the upper limit, it can no longer be used. The amount of moon dye that can be condensed is 60 drops. Therefore, Yu-Ran did not continue to waste time. Instead, he brought the 3 bottles of condensed natural essence. Walk in the direction of Chang'an. Quick, quick, quick. This female druid is about to take action. Let's follow her quickly and see what she's going to do. Yu-Ran started to act. Leah also quickly started taking action. She took Yaya beside her. Follow behind Yu-Ran. Let's walk together in the direction of Chang'an. Edge of oak forest. 6 new oak saplings have just been grown. There are only 2 drops of natural essence left in my hand. Chang'an, who can no longer cultivate any more oak saplings. He took the shovel he was using to plant trees and turned back towards the wooden house. The natural essence on hand has been used up. If you want to continue planting more trees, we'll have to wait until tomorrow. But it's barely noon. There's still a whole afternoon to spare. So much time cannot be wasted. It just so happens that these newly cultivated saplings need more water to grow better. So, go get some water to water the saplings this afternoon. On the way back to the cabin, Chang'an was thinking about what he was going to do in the afternoon. And just when he was thinking this, carry 3 bottles of natural essence moon dye appeared in front of Chang'an. This is today's natural essence. I've already condensed it. Yu-Ran holds 3 bottles of natural essence in her hand. Passed it towards Chang'an. Is it going to be fine so soon? Chang'an doesn't know how the druid profession condenses the essence of nature. Some don't quite believe Yu-Ran. So after taking these 3 bottles, Chang'an opened the bottle and checked it out. It really is 3 bottles full, not a drop too much, not a drop too little. It seems that there is nothing more to do than get water for watering this afternoon. He can continue to plant another 20 trees. Let's accumulate more undead armies. A smile appeared on Chang'an's face. He even became a little more friendly towards Yu-Ran. Good job. Now you can move around freely. By the way, do you have lunch yourself? Want to come over to eat with us? Yu-Ran subconsciously wanted to shake her head and refuse. Because nature professions are among the basic skills before level 20. Have the skills to create food and water sources. She can completely solve the problem of eating by herself. But she quickly suppressed the thought. This is an opportunity. One to get to know up close. A chance for this necromancer and those 2 natural creatures. With this thought, Yu Ran nodded to Chang'an and said, "Please let me eat with you." "Okay, just wait and eat." Chang'an agreed to Yu Ran without hesitation. And Yu Ran also felt like this. Compared to the two natural creatures who were full of defenses, the necromancer in front of me seems to be easier to contact. It seems like this necromancer. This is my breakthrough in understanding the situation here. Yu Ran realized this, decided to take the initiative. He did not leave Chang'an just now. Instead, I used the excuse of preparing lunch. Learned about the basic information of Chang'an. Chang'an also made no secret of this. Very calm. He told Yu Ran his unimportant information. This also made Yu Ran more and more certain. Chang'an is her best breakthrough to understand the situation here. So, after communicating with Chang'an for a few more words, Yu Ran suddenly asked Chang'an, "Chang'an, as far as I know, the essence of nature for you necromancers, it doesn't seem to have any effect, right? So, you asked me for so much natural essence. What do you want to take it for?" When asked this sentence, Yu Ran is ready to fall out with Chang'an, even preparing to attack her. After all, a necromancer needs so much natural essence. It must have its own special use. Your own questions like this will inevitably annoy the other party. But, none of what Yu Ran expected happened. Not only did Chang'an not fall out, he also didn't attack her. Instead, he responded to her with a smile. "Natural essence is really useless to me. But it's very useful for trees. If I want to plant trees, I will naturally need a lot of natural essence." Plant a tree. Chang'an's answer stunned Yu Ran. What's the situation? The reason why a necromancer asked a druid for the essence of nature. Actually want to use natural essence to plant trees. Is this some new age joke? It's still not popular among necromancers nowadays to play with corpses. But is it popular to plant trees to maintain health? Yu Ran doesn't understand. She couldn't understand it at all. Why would a necromancer plant trees? So she couldn't help but ask Chang'an again. "You mean planting trees? The reason why you asked me for natural essence? Is it because you want to plant trees?" "Yes." Chang'an nodded, pointing to the core area where the oak forest is the most lush. Then he pointed to the latest batch of oak saplings cultivated with natural essence. He said with a little pride in his tone, "You and I are in this whole forest of oak trees. And these oak saplings on the outskirts of the forest. I planted and cultivated them all with my own hands one by one. This whole forest, there are hundreds of trees and saplings inside. Are they all planted by the necromancer Chang'an? Look at the vibrant forest in front of you. Then look at the vibrant oak saplings blooming outside the forest." Yu Ran is even more incomprehensible. What is going on with this necromancer? Among natural professionals, even the druid profession who likes cultivating trees the most, very few people regard planting trees as an important thing. Except when taking natural spell courses. Use natural spells to spawn some plants and trees. Basically no one will plant trees outside of class time. At most, they can only raise flowers and grass. And Chang'an, the necromancer. Someone who should be dealing with skeletons, zombies and corpses. Not just running to plant trees. And a complete forest was planted. After all, you are a druid, why don't I be a druid? Yu Ran screamed crazily in her heart. At the same time, I couldn't help but produce an extremely strong feeling. Feeling ashamed of yourself. Even a necromancer has planted a forest. You are a professional in the druid series. Not even a serious tree has been planted. What does this sound like? But soon, Yu Ran adjusted his mentality. Continued to ask Chang'an. "But, you are a necromancer, right? Plant trees, and plant so many trees. Doesn't this mean nothing to you? Aren't you wasting your time?" In Yu Ran's view, a necromancer like Chang'an who can summon a level 70 bone dragon. No more trees should be planted in this waste. Instead, he should bring the undead army he summoned. Go to the Scar of the Sky to fight against the enemies that have invaded this world. Chang'an, on the other hand, has a completely different view. Is planting trees a waste of time? Trees like mine are not a waste of time. If I plant a tree, I can summon 10 skeleton soldiers. 300 trees can summon a level 60 death knight. 500 trees can even summon a level 70 bone dragon. You plant 1 or 2,000 trees for me. I will immediately become invincible and have no rivals anymore. Let me plant tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of trees. I might be able to directly level the traces of the heavens. He suppressed the entire world with his own power. Of course, that's what I was thinking in my heart. But Chang'an didn't say anything. Planting trees can summon the undead. Chang'an and Yi Lingyan are such a caring teacher. And the two little guys who are so close to Leah and Yaya didn't tell. How could he possibly tell Yu Ran such a thing? The people who were attacking you just a short time ago. So, faced with Yu Ran's questions, Chang'an did not answer directly. Instead, he responded with a carefree smile. There are so many meaningful and meaningless things in this world. I can plant trees if I want to, as long as I like them. Why bother whether it makes sense or not? Why care if it makes sense? So, planting trees is this necromancer's hobby. This made Yu Ran couldn't help but frown. And continued to ask Chang'an. I can't understand. A necromancer as powerful as you. Shouldn't we strive for greater power? Why persist in these meaningless hobbies? Among Tianfu University, all mentees and mentors, they are all working hard to become stronger. They entered one high-risk copy after another. Fight in a variety of difficult environments. I paid all kinds of prices just to become stronger. To all the families and friends of Tianfu University students, they are all proud of their admission to Tianfu University. Be happy that they are getting stronger. Under the influence of this environment, Yu Ran simply cannot understand Chang'an. The behavior of wasting a lot of time on meaningless hobbies. But could she understand? It means nothing to Chang'an. Therefore, facing Yu Ran is incomprehensible. Chang'an just laughed it off. The day I decided to run out here and plant trees. Even the millions of people in Windhen City don't understand it. But it didn't hinder me in the slightest. So it doesn't matter to me whether you understand or not. All you have to do is just give me the natural essence I need. Finished. Chang'an walked towards the wooden house minding his own business. Looking at Chang'an who is gradually going away. Yu Ran shook his head. She remembered the things she loved as a child. I remember the early days when I became a professional. The hobby I once loved and longed for. But later, in order to become stronger and become the top strong person. In order to be able to compete with the traces of the heavens. In order to respond to the atmosphere at Tianfu University that only wants to become stronger. In response to the expectations of parents, family, and friends. She forgot everything she loved and loved. All that's left is getting stronger, and getting stronger. The idea of becoming a top strong person. Such a powerful necromancer. Why do you have such a hobby? I really can't understand. Yu Ran still couldn't understand Chang'an's thoughts. But one thing was clear to her. A powerful necromancer who can summon a level 70 bone dragon. You shouldn't stay in Windscar City to plant trees. We should go to the front line of the Scars of the Sky battlefield. Go and kill the enemies who have invaded this world. Yu Ran made up her mind in her heart. He murmured to himself. Stay here for a month. Find a way to have a good relationship with him. Let him go to the front lines of the Scars of the Sky with me. Fight the enemies who invade this world. Not just because Chang'an gained the trust of the forest soul. Or because Chang'an planted an entire forest. Yu Ran has no effect on Chang'an. The kind of disgust that nature professionals have towards the necromancer profession. Therefore, she does not reject the idea of establishing a good relationship with Chang'an. That's all. Yu Ran completely gave up the idea of getting rid of Chang'an's control. Follow Chang'an towards the wooden house. While she was walking towards the cabin, Leah has been following her. Leah used her forest soul ability to monitor Yu Ran. After listening to Yu Ran's low voice, his face suddenly changed. This female druid really has bad intentions. Leah looked at Yaya solemnly. He said very anxiously, I just heard her plan. She said she had a good relationship with her father, and then tricked him into leaving us. Go to a place called the Traces of the Heavens. Can't. Listen to Leah say this. Yaya immediately became nervous. We must not let her conspiracy succeed. Leah, let's do something quickly. What if my father is really deceived by her? The thought of Chang'an being deceived by that woman. Just leave her and Leah here and don't care anymore. Yaya was so anxious that she almost cried. I wish I could drive Yu Ran out of the forest now. But Yaya and Leah didn't do this. Because they know it very well. Chang'an's purpose of leaving the moon dye behind is for the natural essence. If Yu Ran is really driven away, Chang'an will definitely be unhappy. They just don't want Chang'an to be deceived by Yu Ran. I don't want to make Chang'an unhappy. So Yaya is eager to find a way to prevent Chang'an from being deceived by Yu Ran. I figured out a way. Leah did not disappoint Yaya. After thinking hard for a long time, Yaya said confidently, "We are all natural creatures. And that woman is a nature professional. If we go get close to her, she will definitely be happy and won't reject us. As long as we stay with her and don't give her a chance to get close to her father. Of course my father will not be deceived by her. Shouldn't the female druid be allowed to be close to her father?" Yaya lowered her head and thought about it. I feel like Leah's method is very reliable. He breathed a sigh of relief. But soon, Yaya thought of another point. But if we stay with this female druid all the time, what if father thinks we don't like him anymore? I don't want my father to misunderstand me. Isn't this simple? Leah crossed her arms over her chest. He held his head high and said very proudly, "We told my father that we were worried that she might run away. So go and monitor her. Just don't let her escape." Is this still possible? Yaya's little head was filled with shock. I couldn't help but admired Leah and said, "Leah, you are so smart. With you here, my father will definitely not be deceived by that female druid." Of course, Leah had a smile on her face. He said even more proudly, "I am the fairy queen. Of course you will be very smart. What are you Ran and the two little guys thinking? Chang'an doesn't know, so these two little guys sneaked up in front of me when he mysteriously said that he was going to monitor Yu Ran. Chang'an didn't take it too seriously. I just thought that the two little guys were curious about Yu Ran, a nature professional. I want to play with Yu Ran." So he readily agreed to their monitoring of Yu Ran. Even in order to cooperate with the two little guys, he also specially called out two ghosts to serve as their subordinates. Let the ghosts help them monitor Yu Ran. Then, Chang'an was back on track. Continue to cultivate your own saplings and expand the forest area. And while Chang'an is back on track, the two little guys also came to Yu Ran. "Sister Yuerin, father has gone to plant trees and has no time to play with us. Can you play with us?" Leah made full use of her identity as a natural creature. Pretending to be pitiful, he sent an invitation to Yu Ran. Yaya next to her also had a look of expectation. It's as if she is eager to play with Yu Ran. This makes Yu Ran very confused. What's going on with these two natural creatures? Before I gave the natural essence to Chang'an, they were still so wary of me. After I gave the natural essence to Chang'an, they have returned to the attitude that natural creatures should have towards natural professionals. Yu Ran couldn't figure out why. I don't want to think about why. He smiled directly at Leah and Yaya. "Okay, what do you want to play? I'll play with you." Yes, Yuerin accepted Leah and Yaya's invitation. As a natural professional of the Druid series, although Yu Ran has never planted trees, but she had dealt with many natural creatures in the Emerald Dream. And those natural creatures all have a common characteristic. That is simple-minded and very playful. Even though there were things about Leah and Yaya that she couldn't understand. She doesn't think Leah and Yaya will do anything bad to her. So, that's it. Yu Ran was forced to stay in the oak forest. In addition to paying Chang'an the natural essence every day. One more job to play with Leah and Yaya. Then start playing. Leah and Yaya also forgot their original mission. I really enjoyed playing with Yu Ran. Time continues to pass. Just in the blink of an eye, I came to Chang'an and made a reservation at the exchange market. The day the saplings, seeds and natural essences were delivered. Quick, load everything into the car. Let's finish delivering the goods and come back as soon as possible. Chang'an's store where you buy natural essences. The boss Luoming is directing his workers to work. But just then, a beautiful shadow came to Luoming's side. "Boss Luo, these saplings in your car. Who are you delivering to?" Luoming heard this. Turn around and look at the other person. "Hey, it's Teacher Yi. Yi Lingyan is also famous in this small town." Luoming was no stranger, so he greeted him warmly. Then he said to Yi Lingyan, "Speaking of which, you also know the person I deliver the goods to." It was the last time my career awakened the necromancer profession. Then Chang'an, who ran outside the city to plant trees. Chang'an, he is not a prodigal son. Have you gone to level up the monsters? Why are you here to buy saplings again? And there are still so many saplings. Could it be that he is unwilling to upgrade monsters? Did you go back and plant trees again? This guy. Yi Lingyan somewhat hated the fact that iron cannot become steel and said, "How come you just ignored him for a few days and then he behaved badly again?" "No, I have to go over and urge him. He is such a good prospect. How could it just go to waste?" After making a decision secretly in my heart, Yi Lingyan chatted with Luo Ming about first aid again. Then he walked in the direction out of the city. She wants to go to Chang'an's oak forest again. Take a good look at Chang'an, a genius who likes to show off. Back on track again. Edge of oak forest. Chang'an is still carrying out his tree planting business. While Chang'an was working hard to plant tip after tip for successful tree planting, they also appeared in front of Chang'an. Successfully planted and survived an oak tree, the force of balance was triggered, and 10 skeleton soldiers LV-10 were inspired and summoned to this world by you. The cumulative number of planted and surviving oak trees reached 600, and the power of balance broke out. 5 zombies LV-20, 4 ghosts LV-30, 3 black warriors LV-40, and 2 licks LV-50 were summoned and you were summoned to this world. The accumulated planted and surviving oak trees have reached 600, and a Death Knight LV-60 has been inspired and summoned to this world by you. Close black lens bracket. He looked at the prompts popping up one after another in front of his eyes. Feeling oneself among the undead army. The newly added power of those powerful undead. Chang'an is becoming more and more motivated in his planting work. Even the whole person became addicted to it. In the oak forest. Watching sweating profusely at the edge of the forest. Chang'an just wants to cultivate those oak seeds into something useful. Even after watching it for several days, everyone has become accustomed to this. I still can't help but sigh with emotion. You are a necromancer. You necromancer, why do you like planting trees more than nature professionals? What are you thinking about? Sister, you ran. Sister, you ran. Why are you peeking at father again? Hurry up and catch us. Yes, yes, if you don't come, we will win. Leah and Yaya's shouts. Let Yu Ran wake up from her emotion. She shook her head. Get rid of all the emotions in your mind. Then the whole body shape changed. It turned into a strong black moon leopard. You have to hide. This time, I won't let you go again. Haha, you said the same thing last time. That's right, Leah and I are so powerful, you can't catch us even if you are serious. Amidst the laughter of the two little guys, the black moon leopard turned into a phantom. While walking quickly through the oak forest, while searching for Leah and Yaya who were hiding. And Leah and Yaya are indeed natural creatures. Even Yu Ran has tried his best to find them. They still haven't been found from their hiding place. Are we going to lose to these two little guys again today? The entire forest was searched, but Yu Ran still couldn't find Leah and Yaya. I couldn't help but be amazed again. The power of this forest soul is indeed magical. Even though I'm already level 60, there is still no way to find them from this forest. If this power is used in battle, Yu Ran shuddered. But just then, swish, 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 Black Moon Leopard's ears sensitively caught a slight, the sound of leaves rubbing against leaves. Found it. Yu Ran felt happy, although Leah and Yaya have very strong hiding abilities. But in the past few days, it's not like Yu Ran didn't win against Leah and Yaya. And every victory she has. These were the sounds Leah and Yaya made when they wanted to change their hiding place. Just like it is now. So, after catching this slight sound, Yu Ran was immediately in the first place. He jumped towards the direction where the voice came from. Shwashwashua, the vigorous black moon leopard is like lightning. Quickly travel through the canopy of oak trees. It only takes a moment. Yu Ran came to the place where the sound came from. And I saw a human-shaped black shadow on the ground. Caught you, Yu Ran roared. Without thinking, I just pounced on him. Ah, a panicked scream came from the mouth of the figure who was knocked down by Yu Ran. Yu Ran lowered his head and looked. Question mark, question mark, question mark. People. What he caught was not Leah and Yaya, but a woman with very big breasts. This forest is not protected by Chang'an's undead. Except for Chang'an, himself and the two little guys. Is there no way anyone can get in? Why did someone suddenly appear today? Yu Ran is stupid. The figure knocked down by Yu Ran. It was after hearing about Chang'an from Luo Ming. Yi Lingyan came from Feng'an City to look for Chang'an. After a brief moment of panic after being tackled, and found the black moon leopard that knocked him down. I don't know why there was no further attack. Yi Lingyan seized this opportunity. She backpacked from space. Take out a magic scroll to protect yourself. I am preparing to use this scroll to protect myself first. Wait, don't attack. I'm a druid. I thought Yi Lingyan was holding it in her hand. It is the moon die of an attack magic scroll. He quickly spoke up to stop Yi Lingyan. Druid. Yi Lingyan stopped using the magic scroll. He looked at Yu Ran with some confusion. Yu Ran did not continue to explain. Instead, he walked aside silently and lifted his moon leopard transformation technique. Become a human again. What a druid. Witness Yu Ran's transformation with your own eyes. Yi Lingyan finally believed Yu Ran's words. But after believing in Yu Ran, Yi Lingyan's heart followed just more intense doubts. Isn't this the forest where Chang'an planted trees? Why did a druid suddenly appear? Yi Lingyan was filled with doubts. Observed Yu Ran carefully. She is very beautiful and has a perfect figure. However, the most attractive thing is her temperament. On the body of this female druid, he has a wild and untamed temperament that makes people want to conquer him. The only flaw is that the skin is not fair, but wheat-colored. But even this gives people a very healthy and natural feeling. The whole person looks like a heroic big sister. She is a great beauty. And she's the kind of beauty that's very popular with little boys. Yi Lingyan had a preliminary impression of Yu Ran. Then, follow this initial impression. Yi Lingyan suddenly had an idea in her mind. What is the relationship between this female druid and Chang'an? Will, the reason why Chang'an wanted to come over and plant trees. Just because you want to please this female druid. Just like people's impression that necromancers deal with corpses. Professionals of the druid series. In the eyes of outsiders like Yi Lingyan, they are a group of people who love nature and protect natural creatures. After all, many of their spells are related to plants. So the more I think about it, Yi Lingyan feels this is very likely. After all, Chang'an is now at the age when love begins. And this female druid happens to be the one the little boy likes. That type of handsome mature woman. Chang'an will plant trees because he likes this female druid. It doesn't seem to be something impossible. If that's the case, then I must convince this female druid. Let her work with me to persuade Chang'an to farm monsters and upgrade. However, we can't confirm it yet. So, this matter cannot be rushed. Once we get anxious, I'm afraid it will make Chang'an resist. So let's understand the situation clearly before we speak. Yi Lingyan determined her relationship with Yu Ran. While Yi Lingyan was thinking about this, Yu Ran is also thinking about Yi Lingyan's identity. Anyone else entering the forest will be attacked by the undead. This woman doesn't. That means she must come here often. So much so that the undead under Chang'an know her. I remember Leah and Yaya said, except for the two of them. Chang'an has no other family and is an orphan. If it weren't for my family, I would still come here often. She is still so beautiful and her breasts are so big. So, this woman is Chang'an's girlfriend. Same as Yi Lingyan. Yu Ran also misunderstood Yi Lingyan's identity. At the same time, I couldn't help feeling scared. Fortunately, he didn't hurt her. If you accidentally hurt her, is Chang'an afraid that the bone dragon will eat him alive? Yu Ran was a little scared. But it also came from Yi Lingyan. Saw a hope. One persuades Chang'an through Yi Lingyan, the girlfriend. Let Chang'an stop planting trees here. Instead, go to the battlefield of scars of all heavens like her. A chance to fight against the enemies that invade this world. Yi Lingyan misunderstood Yu Ran's identity. Yu Ran also misunderstood Yi Lingyan's identity. But it is precisely because of the misunderstanding of the particularity of the other party's identity. Both men were very polite to each other. Quickly ignore the unpleasant things that just happened. Then they began to communicate with each other about the basic situation between them. Through communication between both parties, Yi Lingyan found out from Yu Ran, Chang'an in the past few days, there was no need to level up monsters at all. Instead, we have been cultivating trees in the forest here. Chang'en, this fool, I thought he finally turned around. The result is that I just asked for a specialization material from me and completed professional specialization. Then he comes back and continues to mess with it. Yi Lingyan was angry and annoyed. I just feel that this guy Chang'en is so disobedient. It's hard work for her as a teacher. It's so troublesome. And during the conversation with Yi Lingyan, Yu Ran also knew Chang'en is not who she thinks she is. What kind of master necromancer is hiding in the Feng'an city and lives in a tree? Rather, it was a profession that had just awakened 3 months ago. Until a week ago, the little rookie, who finally completed the professional specialization. It's just that this little rookie's talent is a bit abnormal. Just finished career specialization. You can summon undead creatures such as death knights and bone dragons through dozens of levels. I thought that as the strongest student of Tianfu University's Druid College, I am. He is already one of the top geniuses in Kyushu. Now it seems that in front of the pervert Chang'en, I'm just a level 1 novice standing in front of a level 70 expert. Yu Ran felt nothing but emotion in her heart. As for envy and jealousy, I spent several years at Tianfu University. After going through a lot of hardships, I finally reached level 60. But it only took 3 months. You can summon a level 70 bone dragon that is comparable to the strongest combat power currently possessed by humans. The gap between the two sides is really too big. It was so big that she could no longer bear the emotions of envy and jealousy. The only one there is. It's a sense of, wow, come and see God. After a brief exchange, Yi Lingyan and Yu Ran, each of them calmed down their inner emotions. Then they walked together in the direction of Chang'en. Yu Ran and Yi Lingyan, while walking in the direction of Chang'en, in a large manor in the wealthy area of Feng'an City, hundreds of people in black robes were gathering in the auditorium of this manor, silently waiting for the arrival of their leader. And while they are waiting, tap tap tap, 5 evil spirits, a professional wearing golden equipment, under the leadership of the man in black robe, appeared in front of all the men in black robes. Everyone, the reinforcements sent from the headquarters have arrived. The leader of the men in black robes addressed everyone present, showing the 5 professionals following him. They all receive blessings from our Lord. I got the special profession, Demon Blood Warrior, and changed my profession. The level has reached level 50 or above. A man much more powerful than the Lord of Windhen City. As long as they are there, the leader of the men in black robes wanted to continue to boost morale. But the team of Demon Blood Warriors behind him, the only leader of the Demon Blood Warrior team who has reached level 60. But he spoke impatiently. Okay, stop talking nonsense. Get started on our plans here. There are more important things waiting for us at the headquarters. Don't waste our precious time here. Okay. Okay. The leader of the men in black robes did not dare to have the slightest objection. He nodded in agreement with the other person's words. Then he turned around and looked at all the men in black robes present and said, everyone has it. I declare, the plan to destroy Windscar City has officially begun. All members immediately start implementing the plan according to the content of the plan. Everyone, let us sacrifice the whole city with blood to welcome the coming of our Lord. Blood sacrifice to the whole city. Welcome my lord. Hundreds of men in black robes cheered. Then they immediately dispersed, rushing towards the outside of Feng'an City. In all directions they rushed to. They have been lurking here for several years, drawing on the power of the gods they believed in. Nearly 100 dungeon entrances were forcibly suppressed and hidden. Once the suppression of the divine power on those copy entrances is released, these are copies that have been suppressed for years. They will all enter the state of dungeon runaway. Then came endless monsters. It will gather into a huge strange tide, launch an attack on Windhen City from all directions. And this is just the beginning. My lords, my people have already started the first step of their plan. Wait until the Windscar City guards are dispatched. I will start the second step of the plan. This will take a lot of time and cause huge fluctuations. As a result, the masters including the Lord of Feng'an City launched an attack on me. During this process, please protect me, sir. Let me persist until the plan is completed. The leader of the black-robed man spoke solemnly, explained the situation to the Demon Blood Warrior team. But the captain of the Demon Blood Warrior team sneered. He said in a very disdainful tone, "The Lord of Windscar City. That's just a loser who graduated from Tianfu. We have even hunted down Tianfu's top genius students. This kind of graduated trash can be destroyed with just one hand." As the black-robed people's action plan begins, hundreds of men in black robes left Windhen City one after another. And their departure, it soon attracted the attention of the city guards. Hundreds of mysterious men in black robes in a row. They all left the city within 10 minutes. This is obviously a planned operation. They must have some hidden secret. Maybe it's even cultists who believe in evil gods who are preparing to cause destruction. We must report it to the top immediately. City Guard Headquarters. Li Nanan, Deputy Commander of the City Guard, received the summary of the news. Decided to report this news to the Commander of the City Guard. But just when he was about to get up, Sun Miao, another Deputy Commander of the City Guard. But he suddenly walked into the room. "Sun Miao, you came just in time. I have important information to report to the Commander-in-Chief. You ask my men to reinforce the city defense for me. Be prepared for possible attacks." Li Nanan made an explanation to Sun Miao. Then he hurriedly wanted to leave. But he had just taken a few steps. An energy shield condensed from blood-red energy. It enveloped the entire room. Li Nanan, you are indeed as cautious as the leader predicted. If the leader hadn't arranged for me to be here in advance, I guess our plan will be hindered a little bit because of you. The words spoken by Sun Miao behind her. Li Nanan's expression changed. Looking at Sun Miao in disbelief. "Sun Miao, what do you mean? What do these men in black robes have to do with you? Who is the leader you are talking about? What are you going to do? Dead people don't need to know so much about." Sun Miao sneered. He launched an attack on Li Nanan without hesitation. Li Nanan was forced to fight back. At the same time, I suddenly understood many things in my mind. "Son of a bitch, you betrayed us. What force did you join? A cult, a force from another world, or a degenerate?" Li Nanan yelled at Sun Miao at the same time. "Still want to use this? Come and get useful information from Sun Miao." But Sun Miao was not moved at all. He just kept attacking Li Nanan without saying a word. The two of them were fighting at the same time. Left Windhen City smoothly. The men in black robes successfully arrived at their planned location. One after another black and red energy penetrated into the ground at the target location. And with the intrusion of black and red energy, a phenomenon planned by the people in black robes, it also appeared in various areas of Feng'an City. To the east of Feng'an City. This leads to the area further back in Kyushu. Members of the merchant team, professional team, and professional guild. As a result, the war was tense and the baggage team needed more supplies and reinforcements. Most of them came to Windscar City from this direction. Then go to the low-risk area of the Scar of the Sky battlefield for adventure. And those teams who want to return to the rear area to rest also go to the rear area from this direction. But today, everything is different. Buzz buzz. Strong space tremors and fluctuations continued to pour out. All who walk in this direction. The attention of all professionals and businessmen was attracted. Then, under everyone's gaze, one is about 10 meters in diameter. The orc tribe copy rated as level 1 slowly rose into the air. This is Rampage copy. What's going on? Why did a runaway copy suddenly appear? What do the city guards of Windscar City do for food? Are there runaway copies here? Everyone, be careful and build a defense line quickly. Don't let the monsters in the dungeon hit civilians. Don't panic. There are many of us. Let's go together. There will be no danger. See the appearance of a runaway copy. The first reaction of these professionals and businessmen. Just greet the parents of the city guard members. But they were scolded and they knew the dangers of running away with copies. However, a resistance team was quickly organized spontaneously. Get ready to fight the first wave of monsters emerging from the rampage instance. But before they could prepare their defense line, in the sky above the more distant areas, more situations occurred again. Buzz buzz, buzz buzz, buzz buzz. There are more than a dozen entrances to each copy that are in a state of rampage. In just 10 seconds, it was presented one after another and appeared in the vision of all professionals. Many of them have reached the second level. Even a third-level standard runaway copy. So many runaway copies. Those stupid dogs in the city guard can go to hell. What are you still doing? Are you waiting to die? Run away. Enter the city. We can't defend it. Enter the city quickly. All members of the professional and trader ranks. They all tacitly gave up the idea of continuing to resist. A wave of monsters caused by a copy of this scale going berserk. If they can't hold on for even a minute, they will all be destroyed. Instead of wasting time in vain, it is better to return to the city quickly to prepare for the subsequent defensive battle. South of Feng'an City, the level 0 Goblin Cave dungeon still lacks one front row member. Come quickly. The first level Orc tribe copy lacks a mage, even a novice below level 10. Is there a priest profession? The first level of the Demon Cave dungeon is missing a priest. There are dozens or hundreds of blue dungeon entrances standing here. All novice professionals below level 20 in Windscar City. All download a copy here to improve your level. Today is no exception. But right now, buzz 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 buzz, accompanied by extremely obvious spatial tremor fluctuations. 5-second level dungeon entrances with a diameter of 20 meters and in a state of rampage appeared suddenly in the sky not far away. What is going on? Rage dungeon. That's the rampage dungeon the teacher said. And it's a second level one. Why is there a runaway copy here? Classmates, it's dangerous here. Everyone, get out of here quickly and return to the city. Where are the dungeon administrators? Call out those people in the dungeon quickly. The novice professionals gathered here were panicked for a while. But order was soon restored with the reassurance of the school teachers. Those students who have entered the copy. Also after the copy administrator has used the corresponding permissions. Forced by the administrator to bring it from the copy. Ran blended into the crowd with a confused look on his face. Evacuate in an orderly direction toward Feng'an City. While they were evacuating, more runaway copies also appeared in the sky one after another. To the west and north of Feng'an City. It's a vast expanse of farmland as far as the eye can see. Countless farmers failed to change jobs and were unable to change their destiny. They are all working hard here. Contribute to the food needs of the entire human race. But today, disaster has struck. Buzz buzz. Buzz 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 buzz. Buzz buzz. Rampant copies appear one after another. Appeared in the sky above this vast farmland area. Let all the farmers who are cultivating the farmland turn pale. Rage dungeon. Why is there a rampage dungeon here? It's over. It's all over. All this wheat is going to be spoiled. What on earth are the city guards doing? Why are there so many rampaging copies? Look at the runaway copy in the sky. The hearts of countless farmers are bleeding. Those monsters that came out of the copy. They don't care about the food in the farmland. They will only destroy and destroy everything. Being treated like this by these monsters. All their hard work for the past half year was in vain. But it's no use even if my heart is bleeding. Those monsters that ran out of the dungeon. There will be no mercy at all. If you continue to stay here, all of them will be killed by those monsters. Fortunately, this kind of situation where the copy goes rampant. JoJo officials will compensate farmers. It doesn't mean that there is absolutely no gain at all. So, even if you are extremely reluctant to give up, farmers in the farmland area, I still use my own transportation tool. Rushed back towards Windscar City from various areas of the farmland. Appeared simultaneously in nearly 100 dungeons. And when the entire Feng'an City was surrounded. The farmland area is further northwest. Luo Ming was driving the truck transporting Chang'an's cargo. We are approaching the woods of Chang'an. Suddenly. Boss, look behind you. It seems like a runaway copy has appeared. The employee on the passenger seat next to him let out a cry of surprise. Luo Ming disagreed. The city guard goes out every week to sweep. Where can I find a copy of the rampage? Did you think it was when the copy just appeared? The employee next to me was anxious. Really, what I said is true. You will know after just looking at it. Luo Ming still didn't believe it. But I still turned around and looked at the truck's rearview mirror. Squeak. The screech of brakes sounded. Luo Ming slammed the accelerator to stop the truck. He stuck his head out the window in disbelief. Look towards the back. It's actually a runaway copy. What do the city guards do for food? Luo Ming cursed angrily. The employee next to him quickly said, "Stop scolding, boss, please turn around quickly. Let's get to the city quickly, otherwise it will be too late." Luo Ming heard it, quickly started the truck, prepare to turn around and retreat to Feng'an City. But not yet waiting for the car to turn around. He turned the steering wheel back again. Continued to accelerate towards the front at a faster speed. "Boss, are you crazy? Are you still driving forward?" The employee looked at Luo Ming angrily. Luo Ming shook his head. "I'm not crazy. It's just the distance between us and the city. I'm afraid I'll be eaten by those monsters before I even arrive. Rather than go back and run further to avoid those monsters. It will be the same when we return to the city after the matter is over." The employee thought, "I found that this is indeed the case." Then he let out a long sigh. "If I had known about this, I wouldn't have taken this job." Luo Ming didn't say anything. But he remembered Chang'an, who was still in the forest. That guy Chang'an probably doesn't know about this yet. When you pass by later, take that kid with you. We can't let such a good patron die like this. With this thought, Luo Ming at a faster speed started racing towards the forest. At the same time, in the forest, Yi Lingyan came to Chang'an with Yu Ran. I saw Chang'an, who was still in that tree. An unknown anger suddenly arose in my heart. "Chang'an, didn't you tell me?" Yi Lingyan couldn't help it. "I want to reprimand Chang'an for cheating on me." But these words were just spoken. Rumble. There was a terrifying explosion. It came from the direction of Feng'an City. Interrupted Yi Lingyan's lecture. Also let Chang'an, Yu Ran, Yi Lingyan and the two little guys in the forest. He couldn't help but look in the direction of Feng'an City. Then, they saw a blood-red light pillar rising suddenly from the direction of Feng'an City and insert it all the way into the sky. The coming ceremony of the evil god. Someone is holding a ceremony for the coming of the evil god in Windhan City. Yu Ran let out an exclamation. The coming ceremony of the evil god. Hear Yu Ran's exclamation. Next to them were Chang'an and Yi Lingyan. Everyone looked at Yu Ran. Cultists, traitors to humanity, degenerates, that sort of thing. These are basically things that everyone knows something about. But for things like the evil god's coming ceremony, ordinary people really don't have access to information related to it. At most we can only analyze it from the name. Get this as a ritual to bring down the evil god. Besides, no useful information can be obtained. So, Chang'an and Yi Lingyan, we have to start with Yu Ran, who obviously knows something. Get more useful information. And Yu Ran, who knew the rituals of the evil god very clearly. They didn't disappoint either. Immediately to Chang'an and Yi Lingyan. Explained the relevant situation. The coming ceremony of the evil god. It's a ritual that only the top cults can perform. Once the ceremony is successfully held, the evil god corresponding to this cult, the incarnation of the gods, will descend in this world. As long as the ceremony is successful, can the evil god send down the incarnation of the god. Chang'an and Yi Lingyan both looked unhappy. The existence of gods has been proven before. Whether active in the Emerald Dream, a natural god who has frequent contact with nature professionals. This is the most powerful proof. And things like evil gods. Just by hearing the name, you know it's not a good thing. Once this thing successfully arrives in Feng'an City, I am afraid that millions of people in the entire Windhan City will not be spared. Can this evil ritual prevent good things? Parents, family, relatives and friends, as well as Yi Lingyan, who has many students in Feng'an City, couldn't help but asked Yu Ran anxiously. Can this evil ritual be stopped? What can we do to prevent the success of the ceremony? Don't let that evil god come to this world. This is easy. Yu Ran said. Based on the information I've been given, I want to successfully hold the evil god's coming ceremony. At least 500,000 lives must be sacrificed to achieve success. It takes 1 million lives to achieve 100% success. The number of cultists who can sneak into a city generally does not exceed 1,000. Even if the Lord of Windhan City and the members of the city guard are not here, it gave them free rein to massacre civilians. There is no way to meet the requirements for the coming ceremony of the evil god. With the city lord and city guards there is nothing we can do. After all, Yu Ran pointed in the direction of the battlefield on the front line of Scars of the Heavens. He said in a very relaxed tone. The frontline battlefield of Scars of the Heavens is more than 100 kilometers away. The strong man sitting on the front line received a request for help. It only takes a few hours at most to get there. Listen to Yu Ran say this. Yi Lingyan suddenly breathed a sigh of relief. Chang'an also relaxed a lot. It seems, this turmoil in Windscar City. It will not affect your own forest. You can continue to stay here and plant trees. But when Chang'an relaxed, jingle bell, the mobile phone in Yi Lingyan's bag suddenly rang. She took out her phone and looked at it. The caller ID turned out to be her father. Should be here to make sure I'm safe. With this thought, Yi Lingyan answered the phone. Prepare to report to your father that you are safe. But as soon as the call was connected, there was a shout from the opposite side. Ling, please quickly take Chang'an and escape to the frontline battlefield. Remember, never go back to the city, it's dangerous here. Very dangerous. Finish shouting. The other person hung up the phone. This, Yi Lingyan and Chang'an looked at Yu Ran together. It's not that there are city lords and city guards. Will Windscar City be safe? It's completely unclear how safe it is. Yu Ran couldn't help but frown. It shouldn't be. The coming ceremony of the evil god has not happened before. She even dealt with it twice herself. It's very easy every time. Just wait with the local defenders until reinforcements arrive. Could it be that except for the cultists this time? Are there other dangers? Just when Yu Ran was speculating in his mind. Buzz. There was an extremely strong sense of space trembling. It came from the direction of Feng'an City. Chang'an looked at the direction where the tremor was coming from in the space between the three of them. Only one exceeds 30 meters in diameter. The entrance to the runaway copy is in a guaranteed state. Appeared not far from the Oak Forest, and in the sky above the Oak Forest and Windscar City. Rage Dungeon. Didn't a runaway dungeon just appear a week ago? Why did another rampaging copy appear? And it's a third-level runaway copy with an entrance diameter of more than 30 meters. This is the common thought in the minds of Chang'an and Yi Lingyan. Yu Ran was wondering what the city guards of Feng'an City were doing. Why would you allow such a 30-meter copy? Entering into a state of rage. That is at this time. There was a loud roar of a truck. Luo Ming came driving a truck like crazy. Stopped in front of Chang'an and the other three. Chang'an, listen to the teacher. And that girl. Hurry up and get in the car. Suddenly a lot of rampage copies appeared behind you. Let's get here quickly. Luo Ming shouted at Chang'an and the other three. And Chang'an heard Luo Ming's shout. Suddenly it came to mind. A copy of the rampage that I calmed down a week ago. Still after he calmed down the rampaging copy, 3 men in black robes were killed by the undead after breaking into their own forest. And a dozen men in black robes who were killed by the undead the next day. If these men in black robes are cultists, doesn't that mean that they have the ability to summon rampaging copies? Uncle Luo, you are on your way here. How many copies of Rampage have you seen in total? Chang'an suddenly asked Luo Ming. How many? Luo Ming was stunned. I can't remember exactly. Anyway, there are many. I saw more than a dozen of them. Only Luo Ming saw more than a dozen. How much did he not see? Dozens. Hundreds. No matter how useless the city guard is, it's a good thing. It is also impossible to miss hundreds of copies of Rampage at the same time. If it is a cultist who uses special means to hide it. Or was it summoned by special means? After all, they can even contact evil gods. It shouldn't be difficult to get some such means from the evil god, right? After inferring this information, then connect this information with the coming ceremony of the evil god that appeared in Windscar City. Chang'an's thoughts suddenly became clear. The cultists held a ceremony for the coming of the evil god inside Windhen City. And used the power obtained from the evil god to summon or hide the rampaging copy. You initiated this large-scale dungeon rampage. And their purpose is to use this large-scale copy rampage phenomenon. Come and kill all the millions of people in Windscar City. And take the lives of millions of people. The sacrifices required to complete the coming ceremony of their evil god. Look at it this way. Windscar City will not be as safe as Yu Ran said. It is even very likely that it will be destroyed due to the plans of those cults. Then, the incarnation of an evil god. It will appear from the ruins of Windscar City and destroy all the professionals who came from the frontline battlefield to support us. And I worked hard to plant the forest for 3 months. They are all not immune to it, they will be destroyed together by the evil god. Thinking of the consequences that will occur if the evil cultists succeed in their plan, Chang'an's face became serious. However, this is just my guess. Not sure whether it is true or not. Therefore, in order to verify the accuracy of my guess, Chang'an expressed his guesses. Then he looked at Yu Ran and asked, "What do you think, what I guessed? How likely is it to be true?" "Very high, very high." Yu Ran's face was equally solemn. Chang'an affirmed this guess. "Although I have encountered the coming ceremony of the evil god before, nothing like this has ever happened. But those cults that are able to hold rituals for the coming of evil gods, there are indeed ways to communicate with the evil god and receive rewards from the evil god." Moment. Yi Lingyan's face turned pale. The same goes for Luo Ming and his employees on the truck. I have even forgotten about wanting to escape. Their families and friends are still in Windscar City. If Windscar City was really destroyed under the conspiracy of the cultists, didn't they suddenly become lonely? Can't escape. You absolutely cannot run away like this. This is the common thought of Yi Lingyan, Luo Ming and the employee. But even thinking about it, 160, they couldn't help but feel a sense of powerlessness in their hearts. Because they don't have enough strength to support their ideas. Yi Lingyan is just a sage, her combat power is only equivalent to a level 10 professional. Luo Ming and his employees are ordinary people who failed to change jobs. With their power, even the monsters that came out of the runaway copy couldn't be dealt with. How can the current situation be changed? That is when they feel deeply powerless. Yu Ran couldn't help but spoke to Chang'an. "Chang'an, Feng'an City needs our power now. Let's go to support Windscar City together. As long as you are here, we will definitely be able to change the current situation. Prevent the evil god from other worlds from coming." Yu Ran's words. Yi Lingyan's eyes lit up slightly. A week ago, there was only level 1 Chang'an. Can summon thousands of undead. As well as the level 40 Dark Warrior and the level 50 Lich. Even Chang'an at that time. As long as you are willing to join Windscar City, it can definitely become a powerful reinforcement. What's more, he has now completed professional specialization. Chang'an who has reached level 20 or above. "Chang'an, I know this is dangerous for you. But I really have no choice. I don't want my father to die. I don't want my other students to die, and I don't want Shifeng'an City to be left in limbo. So, please save us. Save all the people in Windhen City." Yi Lingyan finally found hope. There is no scruple about the teacher's attitude towards the students. He didn't even care about his own face. "I directly CBCB begged Chang'an. And Yu Ran also learned about it. It turns out that Yi Lingyan is not Chang'an's girlfriend, but Chang'an's teacher. It seems that I misunderstood before." The thought flashed across my mind. Yu Ran didn't pay too much attention. Instead, he and Yi Ling persuaded again. "Chang'an, maybe I am not qualified to say this to you. But you can be as relaxed as you are in this kind of tree. It's all because there are countless professionals fighting on the front lines. This stopped the invaders from other worlds. Once the incarnation of the evil god comes to this world, our defense line will probably be broken soon. At that time, can you really continue your hobby of planting trees? So, come with me to support Windhen City." Yi Lingyan, who knows part of Chang'an's power, is begging Chang'an. Yu Ran, who knows Chang'an's full power, is also trying to persuade Chang'an. And has no idea of Chang'an's power. And Luo Ming is also familiar with Chang'an. "I can't stand it anymore. Teacher Yi, and this girl. It's no use forcing him to have a child like this. He is a necromancer, but he has never even improved his level. Even if you go to support, you will die. Let's think of other ways." In Luo Ming's impression, Chang'an changed jobs just 3 months ago. And then until now, level 1 necromancers who are all planting trees here. Count on Chang'an to save the day. It would be more reliable to hope that a level 70 strong man would just pass by. So he doesn't have any hope. But just after Luo Ming said this, Chang'an, who had been silent before, finally he spoke. "Okay, Everyone, please be quiet. Now I will arrange the tasks. You do as I say. A commanding and unquestionable tone. Everyone present fell silent. Chang'an is not a short-sighted person. Once the evil god comes, it will definitely have a great impact on your tree planting career. And planting trees is the fastest way to become invincible. So, anyway, even if it is for the oak tree that I have been planting for 3 months. Chang'an also couldn't let those cultists complete the ritual of coming of the evil god. Not to mention that evil god who jumped out of who knows which world. Successfully brought his incarnation into this world. Therefore, his speculation was confirmed by Yu Ran. After knowing that there is a high probability that the incarnation of the evil god will come, Chang'an uses his spiritual connection with the army of the undead. In his mind, he made various arrangements and tasks for the undead under his command. Now, the tasks for the undead have been arranged. It's time to assign tasks to the living. He glanced at the people who had calmed down. Chang'an began his arrangements for living people. Yuan, I will give you an undead as a helper. It will temporarily obey your orders and help you fight your enemies. You come with it and teacher Yi. Go to the interior of Windhen City to meet the city lord and city guards. Be sure to stop the actions of those cultists inside Windscar City. Finished. Chang'an thought. A death knight riding a giant undead warrior just broke out from behind Chang'an. Appeared in front of everyone present. Death Knight, is this a level 60 Death Knight? Yi Lingyan let out an exclamation. Is this Chang'an's talent? After completing professional specialization, can even the Death Knight be summoned? There is this Death Knight here. Then wouldn't the security of Feng'an City be greatly increased? Look at this ghostly Death Knight. Not only was Yi Lingyan not afraid at all. On the contrary, my heart is filled with joy. And you ran next to her. I couldn't help but sigh again in my heart. It turns out that these are the undead souls I have seen before. Aren't they all his summons? How many of his summons are there? Yi Lingyan and Yu Ran were in different moods. As for Luo Oming and his employees next to him. As early as the Death Knight appeared, I was immediately frightened. A level 60 Death Knight. Chang'an is a level 1 Necromancer. Can you actually summon a level 60 Necromancer? Is this a mistake? Are we dreaming? I doubted my own eyes. Chang'an ignored the two of them. Instead, he continued to look at Yi Lingyan and said, Teacher, I'll give you 5 ghosts. After you and Yu Ran arrive at Feng'an City, send them out immediately to look for traces of the cultists. I hope that after I enter Windscar City, you have found all the cultists. Finished. Chang'an's thoughts moved again. 50 ghosts were summoned. Even me. And 50 ghosts. Yi Lingyan felt amazed again. But soon, she discovered something was wrong. What about you? You gave us all these powerful undead. What are you going to do? Chang'an chuckled lightly. He gently raised his hand and said, I'm going to kill all the monsters outside the city. Then pacify all the rampaging copies. The words fell. Roar. The terrifying breath of death burst out. A ferocious, terrifying, huge mountain-like bone dragon. Carrying Chang'an, he soared into the sky, straight into the sky. Fly towards those runaway copies. Immediately afterwards. Kacha kacha. Roar. Wu_W. Countless skeleton soldiers, walking corpses, and ghosts. Even powerful undead like Dark Knight and Lich. A steady stream breaks out of the soil beneath the oak forest and around it. Gather into a terrifying army full of death. Monsters invading this world. Welcome disaster. I am an unmatched natural disaster. The ferocious, terrifying huge bone dragon soars in the sky. Endless undead, converging into a raging wave rising from the oak forest. It spread overwhelmingly towards Feng'an City. What is this? Why are there so many undead? Are all these undead summoned by Chang'an? He is not someone who is afraid of spawning monsters and leveling up. And the level 1 necromancer who went outside the city to destroy the trees he planted. How can you summon so many and powerful undead legions? He looked at the skeletons, zombies, ghosts and other undead creatures that passed around him and others. Feel the powerful aura of death exuding from them. Luo Ming and the employee were stunned. Their mouths opened wide and their eyes widened. His face and heart were full of horror, shock and disbelief. They didn't believe it at all. The Chang'an who had been talked about as after dinner by Feng'an City for 3 months. Is one capable of conjuring so much? And the super strong man of such a powerful undead army? But the facts are before them. But let them force themselves and press their heads to make them believe it. Except for the two of them. Next to them were Yilingyan and Yuran. It's not much better than them. It turns out that there are differences between people. It really can be bigger than the gap between humans and dogs. Compared to this guy's talent, I am the so-called strongest student in the Druid department of Tianfu University. Actually, he's just an ordinary person. Looking at Chong and riding the dragon in the sky. Looking at the surging undead army. Yuran felt it again. The huge gap between myself and Chong'en. In her heart at this moment. The arrogance belonging to a genius has completely disappeared. She has been unable to produce any. I want to compare with Chong'en. It's just in the 20s. You can summon an army of tens of thousands of undead. Super powerful undead at level 50, 60 or even 70. They are all under his command and act according to his orders. Such a genius, such a strong man. I was actually his teacher. Compared to the three people next to you. Witnessed Chong'en transform from an ordinary student. In just 3 months, Yilingyan has grown to this level. I couldn't help but feel an extremely strong sense of pride and honor in my heart. At the same time, once again, a strong sense of fantasy was produced. I had the illusion that I was dreaming. But soon, this dreamy feeling in her heart, it was replaced by even more intense joy. There are so many powerful undead. There is such a huge army of undead. We will definitely win this disaster today. Windmark City will definitely win. So, as a teacher, I can't hold back my students. I want to return to Windscar City quickly. Find out all the cultists in the city. Yilingyan called several times to the ghost that Chong'en left for her. Once you have mastered and become familiar with the control of these ghosts. He immediately looked at Yuran beside him. He spoke in an urging tone. Yuran, that's what I called you first. Chong'en has already taken action with his undead army. Let's start taking action quickly. Go to Windhen City and join the city lord and the others. Good. Yuran also woke up from the shock. Then the dragon transformation spell was used. It turned into a giant green dragon more than 10 meters long. Dragon. Yilingyan was shocked again. This druid is suspected to be Chong'en's girlfriend. Can actually transform into a dragon. Time is running out, you bring the undead on my back. I will take you directly to Windhen City to meet up. Yuran didn't pay attention to Yilingyan's shock. Instead, he shouted to Yilingyan. Good. Time is indeed of the essence. Yilingyan put away the shock in her heart. Quickly take the death knight that Chong'en left for Yuran. And the ghost left to her climbed onto Yuran's back. Subsequently, wow, the giant dragon transformed from Yudai's sword into the sky. He also flew in the direction of Feng'an City. In the oak forest. As Chong'en and the other three left one after another. Yaya asked Leah a little worriedly. Leah, father and others, are they in danger? I'm so worried about my father and the others. Leah shook her head. He said comfortingly, my father is so powerful, how can he be in danger? We just need to wait here for them to come back. Yeah, I know. Yaya breathed a sigh of relief. Let go of the worries in my heart. Then he said very solemnly. In that case, then we will join the undead left behind by our father. Protect our forests. Chong'en leads the undead army into battle. Not all the undead were taken away. Instead, some black warriors and 2 licks were left for Leah and Yaya. And besides the bone dragon, the most powerful Death Reaper, to assist Leah and Yaya in protecting the safety of the oak forest. Avoid the damage from roaming monsters. Feng'an City, West Wall. Ho ho ho, oucho, woo, orcs, lemurace, hellhounds, demon babies, goblins. There are dozens of different monster armies from different runaway copies. Trampled through farmland areas. We arrived under the wall to the west of Feng'an City. There is no pre-war harsh words, no intimidation or intimidation. These gathered monsters had just arrived here. He launched a frantic attack on the city walls and gates. They have only one purpose. That is to break through this wall. Go and tear every living thing behind the city wall into pieces. Then the entire city was bulldozed. Let this city turn into a huge ruin. On top of the city wall, the city guards were already prepared. as well as the professionals temporarily incorporated into the city guard. Naturally, we would not just ignore the impact of these monsters. Archers, free fire, attack on targeted enemy long-range units. Mage team, use your largest magic attack to attack. Cause as many casualties as possible. Soldier team, fighters who protect the thermal weapons force. Let them maximize their output. Everyone, behind you are your relatives and friends. The future for all of us. For the future of all of us. Kill them all. Tian Heng, the commander-in-chief of the Western City Wall, issued a declaration of war. Countless arrows and various types of spells were fired first. Caused a lot of casualties to the monster army. Subsequently, an army of thermal weapons composed of ordinary people. He also started spitting out tongues of fire like crazy. Although these thermal weapons cannot hit like ordinary people, every shot can cause a fatal blow to the monsters. But the victory is that the firepower output is fierce enough. It can cause a very effective blow to those monsters of level 10 or 20. There are too many monsters. And except for monsters of level 1 or 20, there are also many level 30 or even level 40 monsters. Even people deal blows, they still can't stop their attack. Relying on the vast number, the monster army did not have any siege equipment. He rushed up the city wall by relying on the sheer number of people. Will be a war between humans and monsters. Forced into a fierce frontal battle on the city wall. This can't go on like this. There are more monsters than we have. If you continue, it won't be long before our defenses collapse. Must call for help. Ask for more and the reinforcements grow. Tian Heng, who was watching the overall situation, felt a strong sense of crisis. He immediately sent a request for help to his superiors. And his superior also gave him a reply. The city lord has issued a bloody battle order. Hold on until they come. Tian Heng fell into silence. The bloody battle order is only 100% certain. The entire city is about to be completely destroyed, and no one will be spared. Point 0. The final decree will be issued. That is to say, now, the city is on the verge of total destruction. A critical moment when millions of people in the city are dead. Is it because of that? Tian Heng looked back at the central area of Feng'an City. That crimson beam of light that shoots straight into the sky. Afterwards, he felt heavy. Announce this news to all the soldiers on the city wall. Blood war order. Are we going to be finished? It's over. We're all finished. If I had known this would happen, I shouldn't have come here a few days ago. The morale of the city wall defenders suddenly dropped. Some people don't even want to fight the monsters anymore. But that's it. Tian Heng, whose face was filled with evil spirits, rushed to the top of the city. Kill a monster that climbed up the city wall with one knife. Then he roared angrily. What's the use of despair? What's the use of being afraid? Once the monster rushes in, all of us will die. You weakling who wants to wait for death, go back and ask your mother for milk. If you're not afraid of death, come with me and fight like this group of monsters without parents. In war, the general is always the most important. The general is brave and not afraid of death. The subordinate will naturally not run away first. Son of a bitch, fight with these monsters. Killing one is enough, and the two saints will make a profit. I'm not a coward, you monster. Die for me. All the warriors on the entire western wall. They were all aroused by Tian Heng. Be prepared to fight those monsters to the last man alive. But right now, roar. In the distant sky, suddenly there was a loud dragon roar. Subsequently, boom, a huge bone dragon fell from the sky. It hit the area where the monster army was the densest. Countless monsters were smashed to death on the spot. Immediately afterwards, countless ones turned into actual death energy, forming a violent hurricane. With the bone dragon as the center, it swept in all directions. Kill more than half of the monsters. Subsequently, an army of the dead composed of countless skeletons, walking corpses, ghosts and other undead. Under the leadership of a death knight, they surrounded and killed the remaining monsters. Now, natural disaster is coming. Hey, do it before the time comes. Deliberately causing people at Tianfu University to misunderstand. Then you ask Tianfu University to give me gold coins. Chang'an feels this fishing plan of his. It is very feasible. I couldn't help but feel anxious in my heart. Death charge. Poisonous witch cloud. The banshee wails. in order to destroy the enemy as quickly as possible. Involved in the first moments of the war, Chang'an asked the undead under his command to use their own skills. All of a sudden, the Lish's poisonous gas bomb, the ghost's banshee wail, the zombie's plague, and the Dark Knight's reverse cross slash. Various skills are constantly pouring out. Just destroy all the remaining monsters. Let them turn into starlight and dissipate between heaven and earth. And after destroying the monster army, Chang'an did not negotiate with the defenders on the west wall. The purpose of the cultists. He used the monsters that emerged from the rampage copy to enter Windscar City. The lives of the people of Windscar City were exchanged for the arrival of the evil god's incarnation and the guarding force of Feng'an City. It is simply impossible to face the riots of so many rampaging copies at the same time. The pressure on the defenders of each city wall must be great. So, morality is the top priority now. It is to destroy all the monsters besieging the four walls. As for negotiating with Feng'an City, this is not the case with Chang'an. It's about Yu Ran and Yi Lingyan. 950, wow. The bone dragon set off a strong air current, soaring into the sky again. Run towards the other wall. The undead army has reunited. Also immediately followed below the bone dragon. Like a tide rushing towards the other wall. And the coming and going of the undead army. It also made the defenders on the city wall a little confused. What the hell, we just prepared to fight to the end. Be prepared to continue fighting even if you fight to the last man. As a result, the battle hasn't even started yet. That monster army suddenly appeared. The ridiculously powerful undead army was completely wiped out. I'm just ready to fight to the bitter end. Are you telling me that the other party has been completely destroyed? Then what we did just now. Doesn't it look funny? Surprise, surprise, sudden emotion. It filled the minds of every defender present. But soon, they reacted. This is a good thing. This undead army wiped out the monster army. Then we don't have to die. All can survive safely. Or even to support other places. Think of this. The emotions in the hearts of the defenders on the city wall. It was immediately replaced by endless joy. Ha ha ha, we don't have to die. We won. It turns out we have a top-level necromancer as reinforcements. Great, we are safe. Windscar City is safe too. The defenders cheered. As for Tianheng, the commander-in-chief of this battlefield. But he didn't join in their cheers. There are rampant copies appearing in all four directions. Only a city wall is not enough to resolve the crisis. The crisis must be resolved with all four walls. And Tianheng was worried. He glanced at the blood-red light beam in the central area of Feng'an City. This is the biggest threat. Only when this threat is resolved can the danger be truly eliminated. Think of this. Tianheng immediately organized the soldiers to rest and recuperate. Then a communication was sent to superiors. The crisis on the west wall has been resolved. Our unit still has enough resources to support other battlefields. If necessary, please give the headquarters prompt orders. The next second, among communication facilities, the delighted voices of the headquarters staff rang out. Well done, Tianheng. Leave a professional to continue to garrison. All the rest are sent to support the headquarters. The militia in the city, go back and replace the half of the posts you took away. Communication is disconnected. Tianheng's worry became even more intense. More than half of the professionals are immediately needed for reinforcements. Is the pressure faced by the headquarters so great? What's the situation over there now? Can they hold on? The worries in his heart did not affect Tianheng. After putting down the communication settings, Tianheng immediately started scheduling personnel. But just then, roar, a huge green dragon fell from the sky amidst the exclamations of many defenders. Landed near Tianheng's headquarters. I am Tianfu University, Druid College. The #1 chief student, the Emerald Miracle Minister. Who is the commander? Come out and talk to me. In order to be able to talk to the commander immediately, Yu Ran not only reported his name, he also reported the name he had earned in Tianfu. Student at Tianfu University. These are not flowers in a greenhouse, but receive the most comprehensive training. Specifically enter high-difficulty dungeons to fight, and often need to travel to various areas. The absolute elite who handles difficult incidents that many cities cannot handle. A name from Tianfu University. Often by many official personnel. Especially official personnel such as the city guard are concerned. After all, the Tianfu students dealt with the assassination incident. Most of them are incidents that should be handled by the city guards in each city. It belongs to the superior unit of half the city guard. Therefore, as soon as Yu Ran gave her name, Tian Heng heard the sound. Just looking happy, ran out of the headquarters. Emerald Miracle Moon Dai. Are you really the Emerald Miracle Moon? Tian Heng excitedly wanted to confirm Yu Ran's identity. Then, no confirmation is required. After seeing Yu Ran Zihu in the form of a green dragon, Tian Heng immediately determined Yu Ran's identity. A druid who can master dragon shapeshifting. Most of them are powerful people above level 60. This person who calls himself Yu Ran can transform into a dragon. Even if it's not Yu Ran, he's still a druid above level 60. It is an existence that can definitely bring great help to Feng'an City. So, don't wait for Yu Ran to speak. Tian Heng spoke first and said, "Our headquarters, we are engaged in a fierce battle with the enemy. Please help us, sir, to defeat the enemy." The green dragon transformed into Yu Ran nodded. "I'm here just to deal with this. Tell me the location of your headquarters. I'll go over immediately to provide support." "Yes." Tian Hengmeng's salute. He told Yu Ran the specific location of the headquarters. And Yu Ran didn't delay at all. It rose directly into the air, rushed towards the headquarters of Windscar City. At the same time, the north wall of Feng'an City. There is a fierce battle with the monster army. And under the fierce attack of the monster army, the situation is becoming more and more dangerous for the city defenders. Received reinforcements from an army. The 1st Militia Defense Force of the North, with a total of 10,000 people, requests to join the battlefield. 10,000 people composed of the people of Feng'an City. Militia defense forces armed with various thermal weapons, artillery and other weapons. An application to join the war was sent to the Commander-in-Chief of the City Defense Army. Commander-in-Chief of the North City Defense Force. He took a deep look at these 10,000 soldiers. These are ordinary people who fail professionally. Join the battlefield with the strength of ordinary people. Even if you have a warning weapon in hand, the mortality rate is also much higher than that of professionals. To put it mildly, troops like the Militia Defense Force are here to produce natural firepower. To put it harshly, the Militia Defense Force is here to die. You dare to come here knowing that you are going to die. Even ordinary people, it is definitely worthy of respect. Welcome everyone. He solemnly gave a military salute to these 10,000 soldiers. Show respect to these people. Then he showed no mercy. Replenish these people to areas in urgent need of reinforcements. But that's it. Roar. A huge bone dragon fell from the sky. He took away more than half of the monster army in an instant. And after killing most of the monsters, the bone dragon didn't stop at all. It continued to rise into the air. What's going on? What happened? Is this skull dragon a reinforcement? The pressure instantly reduced a large amount of the city's defenders. His face was full of confusion and confusion. Then, before they could react, an army of undead rushed over. Kill all the remaining monsters. Then there was no stopping. Following the bone dragon, we rushed to the next city wall. The bone dragon and the undead army come and go. It only takes a few minutes in total. All the monsters in the north were destroyed. Only a group of city defense soldiers with confused faces and question marks were left. And this is not the end. Following the west and north walls, Chang'an, who rides a bone dragon and leads the undead army. We visited the south and east again. And every time, the bone dragon lands and kills more than half of the monsters. Then the undead army arrived and harvested all the remaining monsters. It's just less than half an hour. Chang'an single-handedly cleared away the monsters outside the four walls. The city defenders were left with confused faces and question marks. After these city defense soldiers were stunned and shocked. The commander-in-chief of these city defense forces. They also reported their respective intelligence to the city guard headquarters. Can summon a level 70 bone dragon. And it can also summon tens of thousands of undead armies. This is a top-notch necromancer. I didn't expect that my Windscar city would be in danger. Such a top necromancer happened to be passing by. God helps Feng'an City. This is really God helping Feng'an City. The central area of Feng'an City. City Guard headquarters, within the city's general headquarters. Received the battle report from the commander-in-chief of the Four Walls. Zhang Shantong, commander of the city guard, knew what was happening outside the city wall. There was a look of ecstasy on his face. The war is raging and the situation is critical. Even the city lord was injured by the cultists. A situation where one has to attack in a way that consumes the lives of soldiers. His previous mood was extremely pessimistic. I thought that Feng'an City was really going to be completely destroyed today. All the people in the city will become sacrifices in the coming ceremony of the evil god. Let the incarnation of an evil god come to this world. But now, that person should be the top powerful necromancer who happened to be passing by. Zhang Shantong's heart was filled with excitement. The crisis on the Four Walls has been resolved. Next, that strong man will definitely come to support us. Kill all the cultists in the city. Windscar City can be saved. Those cultists are doomed. After the excitement, Zhang Shantong realized it quickly. This is an excellent one. Can be used to cheer people up. Great news to inspire people all over the city. At the same time, it can also be used to combat the arrogance of evil 21 believers. A good chance to make them lose their fighting spirit. The whole city must be notified. Let everyone know the news. As for whether it will have the effect of alerting others, let those cultists who perform evil rituals escape. Zhang Shantong doesn't think so. Some cultists who haven't even reached level 61 have the ability to escape from a top powerhouse who can summon a level 70 bone dragon. In front of the top strong men, their only possibility, just to be wiped out all. Think of this. Zhang Shantong turned on the citywide broadcast. In a very excited tone, announced to all the people in the city. Everyone in Windscar City. Good news. Great news. A level 70 top necromancer just happened to pass by our city. Now, he has destroyed all the monsters outside the city. Next, he will eliminate all the cultists and traitors in the city. It won't take long for Yinhen City to regain peace. Everyone in Yinhen City. Good news. Excited Zhang Shantong. Very excited. The news was announced orally 3 times. At the same time as these 3 news notifications sounded, Yu Ran, who transformed into a green dragon. It also happened to fly over Feng'an City. Some people mistakenly thought it was the bone dragon mentioned by Zhang Shantong. Facts seen with one's own eyes. This completely proves the authenticity of Zhang Shantong's words. Then, there was a burst of cheers in Feng'an City. We survived. We're okay. Long live Windscar City. Long live the city guard. Long live the necromancer. Great. We're not going to die. We're fine. At the very beginning, it was only those who mistook Yu Ran for the bone dragon and cheered. But under the influence of these cheers, more cheers. It also rang one after another. And it started to spread in all directions. At last, millions of people in Yinhen City cheered together. Let the entire Feng'an City fall into a sea of cheers. But what they don't know is, just when they were cheering heartily, destroy all the monster armies outside the 4 walls. Chang'an who allowed them to cheer. But it was not as Zhang Shantong said. Go to the central area of Windscar City for reinforcements. It was like diving into a second-level rampage copy. You have entered the second-level copy, Orc Fortress. Tip: beat the level and destroy the Orc Fortress to clear this copy. Close black lens bracket. Tip: the normal monster level in this copy is level 20 to 25, and the boss level is level 28. Warning: due to the phenomenon of rampage in the dungeon, the level of the monsters in the dungeon is +10, and the level of the boss in the dungeon is +20. The number of ordinary monsters has been increased to 500%. Warning: due to the phenomenon of dungeon rampage, all ordinary monsters have been upgraded to elite level, and the boss's blood volume has increased significantly. Tip: due to the phenomenon of dungeon runaways, the experience gained by professionals is increased by 100%, and the item drop rate is increased by 50%. Close black lens bracket. This runaway copy was selected by Chang'an. It happens to be an advanced copy of the First Order Orc tribe. Except for the changes in level. The only change. It is the target that needs to be destroyed. From an Orc tribe to an Orc fortress. But for Chang'an, this has no impact. Because, even the monsters in the second level rampage copy, it's only level 30 to 35. The level of the final boss. It's only level 48. And the level 48 boss. Even against a level 60 Death Knight, there was no hope of victory. What's more, what about a bone dragon that has reached level 70 or above? Kill, as fast as possible. Destroy all the monsters in this instance. Close this copy. Chong and summoned no other undead creatures. Instead, he gave the order directly to the bone dragon at his feet. Then, the bone dragon at Chang'an's feet no longer has any scruples. He directly unfolded the bone wings and flew at a low altitude. Swooped towards the orc fortress. Boom boom boom. Bang 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 bang. Puff, puff, puff. The terrifying breath of death accompanies the bone dragon. The bone dragon just flew over the orc fortress. That extremely rich aura of death, enough to turn into a substantial existence. Just destroy all the areas where the bone dragon flies over. Not only all the monsters in the flight path died. Even the buildings on the road. It also seems to have gone through hundreds of years of vicissitudes. It turned into a crumbling ruin. A few minutes later, the dungeon boss that appeared because the orc fortress was destroyed. An orc warchief who has reached level 48. His entire body was bitten into pieces by the bone dragon, and he was instantly killed. Congratulations, you successfully cleared this runaway copy. This copy has been released from the runaway state. Close black lens bracket. Tip. In half an hour, the dungeon will be settled. Please collect the drops from Dungeon C as soon as possible. See the appearance of these two prompts. Chong and then summoned the undead army. Have them collect all the items dropped in the instance. Then the half-hour waiting time ended early. Entering the copy settlement stage. Congratulations, you have successfully cleared the second-level Rampage Dungeon, Orc Fortress. Now you can start clearing and settling the dungeon. Checking clearance time. End. This clearance time is 6 minutes and 53 seconds. The difficulty of the dungeon is Rampage level, and the evaluation of passing the level has been improved. The Level Up Challenge Dungeon, the evaluation has been increased by the clearance time has been S level, and the evaluation has been improved. Congratulations, your final clearance evaluation is $. Customs clearance and settlement are undoubtedly S level evaluations. Chang'an didn't care too much. Instead, he looked directly at the reward behind. Congratulations, you have received a huge experience reward. Congratulations, you have obtained gold level equipment, Chief War Armor. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained gold level equipment, the Scepter of the Spirit of the Ancestors. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained the General Skill Book, Intermediate Intelligence. The runaway copy will definitely drop the random attribute Intermediate General Skill Book. Close black lens bracket. These tips are not the end. Shortly after these prompts appear, soon new ones appeared. Tips from the improvement of S-level evaluation rewards. Tip. Since your clearance evaluation is S-level, the quality of the rewards you receive this time has been improved. The improved rewards are: Huge Experience Reward 1 Right Pointing Arrow, Huge Experience Reward 5. Equipment: Chief War Armor Gold, Right Pointing Arrow, Beast King War Armor Dark Gold. Close black lens bracket. Equipment: Ancestral Spirit Scepter Gold, Right Pointing Arrow, Holy Spirit Scepter Dark Gold. Close black lens bracket. Skill Book: Intermediate Intelligence Skill Book to Top Intelligence Skill Book. Close black lens bracket. 2 more pieces of dark gold level equipment. And get a Top General Skills Book. This is if all the Rampage dungeons around Windscar City are cleared. How many pieces of dark gold level equipment can you get? How many top-level general skill books do you get? These rampaging copies around Windscar City. It's not just a crisis. It is also a huge wealth. Chang'an sighed in his heart. Then it went on non-stop. Continue to rush to another copy. The closest one to the first Rampage copy that Chang'an completed this time. It's a level 1 runaway dungeon. Chang'an didn't think much about it. I saw that the entrance to this Rampage copy was very close. I entered this runaway copy directly. You have entered the first level copy, Underground Tribe. Tip. Destroy all the monsters in the dungeon to clear this instance. Tip. The normal monster levels in this copy are level 13 to 19, and the boss level is level 20. Warning. Due to the phenomenon of rampage in the dungeon, the level of the monsters in the dungeon is +10, and the level of the boss in the dungeon is +20. The number of ordinary monsters has been increased to 500%. Warning. Due to the phenomenon of dungeon rampage, all ordinary monsters have been upgraded to elite level, and the boss's blood volume has increased significantly. Tip. Due to the phenomenon of dungeon runaways, the experience gained by professionals is increased by 100%, and the item drop rate is increased by 50%. Close black lens bracket. Familiar rampage copy prompts appeared in front of Chang'an again. But it's different from the previous 2 times. Contents of this copy. But he is no longer the orc from the previous 2 times. Dungeon Fortress. I remember this series of monsters. It seems like the terrain of the underground world. As for monsters, are they cavemen, lizardmen, harpies and other monsters? In Chang'an's mind, a lot of information learned in school came to mind. Then I didn't think about it anymore. Because, no matter it is a monster like an orc, or underground world monsters like cavemen and lizardmen, in front of a powerful creature like the bone dragon that has reached level 70. They are all on the same level as ants. Continue to spend more time thinking about these things. That's a complete waste. Chang'an is not a person who likes waste. So he is the same as before in the Orc Fortress instance. He directly ordered to the bone dragon at his feet. Kill all enemies. Complete this dungeon as quickly as possible. Roar. The bone dragon roared loudly. The huge bone wings flapped suddenly. The strong aura of death also spread out. During the bone dragon's low-altitude flight. Just plow everything on the ground. What cavemen, lizardmen, underground lizards and other monsters. They all died instantly when the bone dragon flew by. A harpy with the ability to fly. It is possible to avoid the bone dragon with the help of flying ability. But the monsters in the copy have no brains. As long as Chang'an and bone dragon appear together, they took the initiative and rushed towards the bone dragon. Then he didn't get within 100 meters of the bone dragon. He was instantly killed by the death energy released by the bone dragon. Therefore, it only takes less than 10 minutes. In front of Chang'an, the copy prompt appeared again. Congratulations, you successfully cleared this runaway copy. This copy has been released from the runaway state. Close black lens bracket. Tip. After half an hour, the dungeon will be settled. Please collect the dropped items in the dungeon as soon as possible. Is it over again? Hurry up and clean up the battlefield. Chang'an waved. Summon the undead such as skeleton soldiers. Collected all the dropped items as quickly as possible. Then the waiting time ends. Directly entered the copy settlement process. Congratulations, you have successfully cleared the first level runaway dungeon, Dungeon Fortress. Now you can start clearing and settling the dungeon. Close black lens bracket. Checking clearance time. End. This clearance time is 4 minutes and 44 seconds. The difficulty of the dungeon is at the rampage level, and the evaluation of passing the level will be improved. If you challenge the high-level dungeon, the evaluation will be reduced. The clearance time will be S level, and the evaluation will be improved. Congratulations, your final clearance evaluation is A+. Look at this final settlement. Chang'an raised his eyebrows sharply. A+. Shouldn't it be an S-level rating? Chang'an was confused in his heart. Click on the copy settlement and check it carefully. Only then did I finally find out the reason why I only had an A+ rating. Advanced Challenge Low-level copy, evaluation will be reduced. The challenge level of the alien copy is level 10 to 20. My level has exceeded level 20. Meet the conditions for high-level professionals to clear low-level dungeons. So the rating is lowered. As long as it's not a runaway copy of the same level or a higher level pass. Can't you get an S rank rating? It turns out that the requirements for S level evaluation are so high. Chang'an sighed, but he didn't take it seriously. A+ is A+. As long as the harvest is good. Think so. Chang'an continued to look at the clearance rewards below. Congratulations, you have received a lot of experience rewards. Congratulations, you have obtained silver level equipment, Banshee Houri. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained the general skill book, intermediate intelligence. The runaway copy will definitely drop the random attribute intermediate general skill book. Close black lens bracket. It follows after the level clearance reward. It is a reward after adding an A+ grade evaluation. Tip: since your clearance evaluation is A+, the quality of the rewards you receive this time has been improved. The improved rewards are: lots of experience rewards 1 right pointing arrow, lots of experience rewards 3. Equipment: Banshee Howry, silver, right pointing arrow, Banshee Queen cloak, gold. Close black lens bracket. Skill book: intermediate intelligence skill book, right pointing arrow, advanced intelligence skill book. Silver was only elevated to gold. Is the intermediate skill book only upgraded to advanced level? Chong frowned slightly. Is this the only level of A+ rating bonus? Isn't the gap with the S level evaluation bonus too big? The A+ evaluation bonus is only to this extent. It's not worth my time to go in and waste my time. The next rampage copy to clear. Only clear the dungeons at the same level as me. This will ensure that each of my rampage copies will receive an S level rating. The people in the city guard are not idiots. After cleaning up all the monsters outside the city, they will definitely send level 30 and 40 professionals into the runaway dungeon. By clearing the runaway copy, to reduce the number of the next wave of monsters as much as possible. Under such circumstances, instead of wasting your time trying to clear those level 1 rampage dungeons, it's better to let the city guards do it. Anyway, I don't like those gold level junk equipment. Clear more runaway dungeons of the same level. Get more S level reviews. Gain more dark gold level equipment and top general skill books. This is the true royal way. With this thought, Chong walked out of the rampage instance, directly bypassing all the first order rampage copies in the surrounding area. Entered a second level runaway copy. Continue to start your own journey to quickly conquer the runaway dungeon. Chong quickly raided the dungeon at the same time. The central area of Feng'an City. Inside the city guard's citywide headquarters. Cannot wait. Zhang Shantong wanted to see the arrival of the mysterious top necromancer with his own eyes. Went directly to the outdoor area of the headquarters to wait. In order to be able to do so after the arrival of that top powerhouse, you can express welcome and thank you to the other party as soon as possible. Then, he saw a huge black shadow appeared in the sky above the headquarters. Here he comes. The mysterious strong man is here. Everyone, get ready to welcome us. Zhang Shantong immediately started making arrangements. Prepare to organize people around you to give each other a warm welcome ceremony. To show respect for this mysterious powerhouse. Boom. After the huge black shadow fell to the ground, Zhang Shantong was the first to discover something was wrong. This is not a bone dragon, but the green dragon. It's a green dragon covered in emerald color. Why is it a green dragon? In the report from the City Defense Army, isn't it a bone dragon you're talking about? Zhang Shantong is confused. Those welcoming people organized by Zhang Shantong, they all froze in place. Don't know what to do. Fortunately at this time, the green dragon turned into Bai Yu Ran. He took the initiative to speak to Zhang Shantong. I am Tianfu University, the Jade Miracle Yueran from Druid College. You are the Commander-in-Chief of the Windscar City Guards. The current Commander-in-Chief of Feng'an City's Defense Forces, Zhang Shantong. Jade Miracle Mundai, the one who received blessings from the gods of nature. It is said that the chief student of Tianfu Druid is about to reach level 60. After a brief moment of astonishment, Zhang Shantong immediately spoke. It's me, I'm Zhang Shantong. You are also here to reinforce us. I came with the top necromancer you mentioned on the radio. Yu Ran briefly explained the situation. At the same time, he also let the Death Knight, Yi Lingyan and the ghosts behind him all walked off his back. Then he changes back to his human form. Pointing at the Death Knight next to him, Zhang Shantong said, my mission is to be with this Death Knight. Stop the cultists, evil god coming ceremony. Where are they now? Take me there quickly. Bad news. The top dead, Wang Li's spiritual mage is not here. Good news, but he sent a level 60 Death Knight and the chief druid student from Tianfu University. Although it's a pity that I can't see the top necromancer. But I got 2 Zhang Shantong with level 60 combat power. But still very happy. You guys came just in time. The group of cultists who were established are the Abyss cultists of the Abyss cult. They are well prepared this time. Except for those cultists who hold the evil god's coming ceremony. There is also a team of demon blood warriors. The city lord was directly seriously injured by them and almost died. We were also held back by that team of demon blood warriors. In addition to gathering as much strength as possible to surround them. We can't even support other city walls. We were planning to gather all the professionals for a wave. I want to take advantage of the chaos to disrupt their ceremony. This way, even if we are all dead, the incarnation of the evil god will not come. But now that you are here, we don't have to carry out this plan. With Moon Dai and Death Knight, Zhang Shantongli, the place where the Abyss cultists held the evil god's coming ceremony. By the way, I explained the current situation. And Yu Ran listened to Zhang Shantong's introduction. After he said the words, Demon Blood Warrior Team. The look on his face immediately became serious. Demon Blood Warrior. This is unique to the Church of the Abyss. A special occupation that can be transferred in batches. To become a Demon Blood Warrior, you need to fuse blood with the Abyss Demon. And use this to obtain the power from the blood of the Abyss Demon. After switching to the Demon Blood Warrior profession. In addition to enhancing the original warrior profession, you will also master many skills that only the Abyss Demon can master. Let the transferred person change his career from an ordinary warrior career. Become a stronger warrior and gain the power to use magic. It is a special profession that cultivates both physical and law. And this profession, it was also the Abyss Church from the demon god of the Abyss world. One of the benefits you get. Of course, switching to Demon Blood Warrior is not all a benefit. For example, it will be unable to maintain its human form during combat. For example, after changing jobs and becoming a Demon Blood Warrior. The Church of the Abyss will be under the control of the Pope. He can't even control his own body in front of the Pope of the Abyss. But no matter what shortcomings this profession has, the Demon Blood Warrior profession is undoubtedly a very powerful profession. Therefore, whenever the Church of the Abyss makes any big move, you can all see the profession of Demon Blood Warrior. Yu Ran was dealing with the Abyss Church incident. He has fought against Demon Blood Warrior professionals many times. It is precisely because of many contacts. So she knows exactly where the Demon Blood Warrior will appear. The standard configuration for an entire team of Demon Blood Warriors. There is a level 60 captain, 2 level 55 elite members and 2 new level 50 members. This is not an easy opponent to deal with. At least rely on my own strength. At most, it will only have a suppressive effect. Can't kill them all. After all, I'm just a level 60 professional. But, Yu Ran's face was slightly solemn. Turning around to look at the Death Knight following her. I have this helper assigned to me by Chang'en. The two of us attack together. You can definitely defeat this team of Demon Blood Warriors easily. Among all the Abyss Church incidents that Yu Ran has dealt with, Demon Blood Warrior professionals are the strongest guarding force of the Abyss Church. Just kill the Demon Blood Warrior. This is tantamount to dismantling the highest local armed force of the Abyss Church. Then you can easily wipe out all the remaining ones. When I was thinking this, Zhang Shantong led Yu Ran in a building surrounded by a large number of professional warriors, and stopped outside the manor shrouded in a blood-red energy shield. This is where the cultists hide. Our strength cannot break through. I can only watch helplessly here. The enemy that threatens the security of the entire city is right in front of you. But the feeling of powerlessness that one can do nothing about. It made Zhang Shantong very painful. But after his eyes returned to Yu Ran, Zhang Shantong's face showed a look of joy. But it would be nice if you came. There is a top genius like you. We must go in and destroy them. Top talent. Yu Ran felt a little ashamed. Compared with Chang'en, he is the so-called top genius. Not worth mentioning at all. But she didn't follow Zhang Shantong in saying this. Instead, he looked in the direction of the manor. Long-range strike protection barrier. Only for long-range strikes to prevent the action plan from being destroyed. But it will not restrict the entry and exit of living animals. Waiting for someone to get in there and fight them. These Demon Blood Warriors are always so arrogant. Yu Ran snorted coldly in her heart. I am very unhappy with the arrogance of the Demon Blood Warriors. These Demon Blood Warriors, after betraying himself, he rose from an ordinary soldier to the sky. I always thought I was an invincible genius. Always liked to put on this posture of looking down on everyone. Even a genius like Chang'en. None of them are as arrogant as these demon blood warriors. Why are they so arrogant? In order to let these demon blood warriors know they're not really that great. Yi Lingyan is ready to kill all the demon blood warriors in this team. No one will be left alive. Let them pay for their arrogance. The natural creatures of the Emerald Dream. And my contract partners. Now is the time when I need your strength. Come out, fight beside me, and tear my enemies to pieces. Yu Ran let out a loud shout. A gate connecting to the Emerald Dream suddenly appeared. Saber-toothed tiger, mammoth, giant bear. The natural creatures summoned by Yu Ran when she attacked the oak forest. Summoned by Yu Ran again. And, in addition to those natural lives summoned last time, Yu Ran also summoned a more special summon. A night elf with a slender figure and a well-proportioned body. She is clad in fine relief carvings. The gorgeous gray-silver armor looks more like a work of art than a battle armor. Each of her hands holds an equally gorgeous slender blade. This is an elf sword dancer. It is the moon stained in the Emerald Dream. Make friends from another world. Because the world this elf is in does not have an attribute panel for this world. Therefore, the level of strength can only be estimated. The big one, CBDB, is probably around level 55. Reza, thank you for your help. Yu Ran responded enthusiastically to Night Elf Reza. But Reza frowned. With an uncomfortable look on his face, he said to the Death Knight next to Yu Ran. Yu Ran, isn't your profession a natural envoy? When did you become the evil necromancer? And you can also summon the Death Knight. Yu Ran looked a little embarrassed. How much elves hate undead creatures. It's more serious than nature professionals hate necromancers. In the case of undead, he also summoned the other party. But it is a bit disgusting for the other party. Sorry, but we alone can't defeat those demons. I need its power, so I can only wrong you. Yu Ran pointed to the cultists' manner and explained the situation. Rachel's complexion improved a lot. Since we are fighting against the devil, forget it. If elves hate undead creatures, that is disgust and hatred for the devil. After all, the undead creatures have no leader. They often live in snails' nests and wander in places with a strong sense of death. And creatures like demons, even the weakest abyss maggot, they are also extremely aggressive and must be killed. Therefore, in order to deal with those demon blood warriors, Rachel chose to compromise and was willing to fight with the undead creatures. Great, then let's act quickly. Destroy all enemies as quickly as possible. Yu Ran explained to the Death Knight next to him. Let the Death Knight find a place to hide himself. Then a layer of emerald green dragon scales appeared on the surface of the body. He took the lead and rushed into the cultists' manor. Night Elf Rachel and other natural creatures next to her. It followed immediately. Follow Yu Ran and rushed towards the manor. Warrior, this is the top genius from Tianfu University. He is a strong man who has reached level 60. Follow them. Let's rush in together and destroy all the cultists. Zhang Shantong did not let the surrounding professionals watch the battle. Instead, they tried their best to mobilize the professionals around them. Then he led his own bodyguards. Following Yu Ran and others, he rushed into the manor. Kill all these cultists. Kill all these cultists. Let these son of a bitch cultists die. A strong person leads the charge. The professionals who have been holding back their anger for a long time. I no longer want to stay around stupidly. They all let out angry roars. Together we rushed into the cultists' manor. At the same time as Yu Ran and others launched a charge. Inside the cultist manor, a new member of the Demon Blood Warrior team responsible for observing the situation outside the manor. After Yu Ran led people into the manor, unable to bear it, he exclaimed, "Captain, I know the leader. She is one of the top geniuses at Tianfu University, the Emerald Miracle. That woman is very strong. My previous captain was killed by her. Our strength may not be enough. Should we give up the mission and evacuate here?" Genius, humph. Zhang Wenji, the captain of the Demon Blood Warrior team, snorted coldly. I'm fighting those geniuses from Tianfu who look down on others. All of them. Come with me to take down the so-called Emerald Miracle. I want to see how powerful this so-called Emerald Miracle is. Yes, the 4 Demon Blood Warriors stood up. Followed Zhang Wenji. He walked towards Yu Ran and others. Kill all these cultists. Let all these die. My Lord is eternal. Anyone who hinders the coming of our Lord will die. Idiots, witness the power of our Lord. In the manner where the Abyss Church held the evil god's coming ceremony. Professionals from Windscar City and cultists from the Church of the Abyss. A fierce fight is going on. Cross slash, elemental missile. Chain lightning, 3-star burst, the warrior's skills, the mage's magic, the archer's arrows. Attacks from countless professionals. Crazy pouring towards the cultists. Crazy poisonous flame. Curse the fireball. Dark vision. Demon blood corrosive bullet. The cultists' counterattack was not inferior at all. Countless dark magic and demonic skills. They were also frantically bombarding those Windscar City professionals. Securely guard those Windscar City professionals who rush into the manor. If the participants in this war, there are only professionals from Windscar City and these cultists. These cultists may actually be able to rely on their own strength. Just repel these professionals in Fengen City. Let them return without success again. But it's a pity, except for the professionals here in Windscar City. There are also natural creatures troops led by Yu Ran. Wind sword dance, tornado strangulation, dance of the sun, fierce storms, terrifying tornadoes, and deadly flaming blades. Rachel, the elf sword dancer, goes on a rampage among the cultists, killing everyone. It easily penetrated the defense lines of the cultists. Then he came back again. Easily shuttle back and forth among the cultists' defense lines. As bright as Rachel, they are the natural creatures summoned by Yu Ran. This group of natural creatures were easily wiped out by the undead army. With their huge bodies, absorbed countless attacks without any damage. Then they counterattacked wildly against the attacks of the cultists. Tear the cultists into pieces piece by piece. Rachel and the creatures of nature. He abruptly tore apart all the defense lines of the cultists. Let the cultists completely fall into a situation where they can only suffer massacre. And during this whole process, Yu Ran hasn't even taken action yet. Members of the Demon Blood Warrior team, it is also under such circumstances, came to the battlefield. Just some summons. Is it possible to do this? As expected of Tianfu's top genius. But it's just such top talent. That's why it's more valuable to hunt it. Looking at Yu Ran, who was obviously waiting for something. Zhang Wenji, the captain of the Demon Blood Warrior team, showed excitement on his face. The abyss demon blood in his body was roaring. He couldn't wait. I want to rush forward and tear Yu Ran into pieces. I want to taste the blood after Yu Ran's body was torn open. Under this extremely urgent desire, Zhang Wenji's eyes bloomed with blood-red light. The body expanded violently, reaching more than 3 meters in the blink of an eye. The muscles all over the body exploded vigorously, bulging as hard as stone. Then, a pair of ferocious horns grew out from both sides of his head. It formed a curled horn and sat above his head. Zhang Wenji at this moment. Not so much humans. Rather, it is a pure abyss demon. Emerald Miracle Moon. Die. Demon Zhang Wenji roared. It shot straight towards Yu Ran like a cannonball. 4 demon-blooded warriors transformed into demons like him. He also immediately joined the battlefield. Launched an attack on Rachel and those natural creatures. And with the addition of these demon blood warriors, Rachel and the natural creatures were immediately suppressed. You can no longer kill everyone like before. Even those ordinary cultists. They can all seize this opportunity to reorganize the lineup. The fierce battle continued with the professionals from Windscar City. The situation on the entire battlefield. They actually entered into a close match again. But this is not the case. Boom, boom, boom. Zhang Wenji transformed into an abyss demon. With Yu Ran in half-dragon form. Neither of them avoided the other's punch. But while receiving the opponent's attack head-on, attacking the opponent crazily, the battle between them. There are no fancy magic or skills. There is only the purest, most intense, fierce hand-to-hand combat. And this is exactly Yu Ran's plan. Roar. Yu Ran is in the midst of a fierce battle. Suddenly he made a sound toward the sky. Then he said to Zhang Wenji with a confident look. Demonic warrior, it's over. This battle belongs to me. You won. Ridiculous. Zhang Wenji roared. You think I'm the same garbage you killed? No, I am the strongest. I am the strongest demon blood warrior. He is the strongest demon-blooded warrior who specializes in hunting down geniuses like you in Tianfu. When I rip your hands off, you will understand this clearly. Yu Ran was noncommittal. He still said confidently, "No, our fight is over." The words fell. PFF'd. A huge sword with a terrifying aura of death. He slashed hard at Zhang Wenji's neck. Just cut off his whole head. Dong dong dong. The bodiless head rolled several times on the ground. It also made Zhang Wenji still conscious. Saw the being who beheaded him. A death knight. Asshole, you actually attacked me secretly. I don't accept it. I don't accept it. Zhang Wenji, who only had his head left, roared. His headless body also continued to fight. The blood of the devil gave Zhang Wenji powerful vitality. Even if the head is chopped off, he still didn't die immediately. Even, just put the head back on the body in time. He'll be back to his prime in no time. But under the current situation, why would Yu Ran give him this opportunity? It's all over. Yu Ran showed no mercy. Reality crushed Zhang Wenji's head like a watermelon. The Death Knight next to him. He also slashed at Zhang Wenji's body again. Cut his body in half from the middle. Zhang Wenji, a level 60 demon blood warrior from the Abyss Church. Those who were killed like this can no longer die. And with the death of Zhang Wenji, this battle between Windscar City and the Church of the Abyss, it's officially over. The remaining cultists were simply unable to resist. Yu Ran led the professionals from Feng'an City to easily eliminate them. The altar where the evil god's coming ceremony was held was also destroyed. That bloody beam of light that went straight into the sky. Naturally, it disappeared. Your Excellency Emerald Miracle, you are so amazing. Thank you very much for your help in Feng'an City. After everything is over, Zhang Shantong came to Yu Ran. He expressed his gratitude to Yu Ran excitedly. But Yu Ran shook his head. Pointing at the Death Knight, he said, "Thanks to this Death Knight this time. Otherwise it wouldn't be so easy for us to end this." Zhang Shantong looked at the Death Knight. His face was full of emotion. "I was not present, I just sent a Death Knight over. Let's end the fighting here. I really don't know the owner of this Death Knight. What kind of strong man is he? By the way, Your Excellency Emerald Miracle, you said before that you came with him. Have you seen the Necromancer? Do you know what kind of person that strong man is?" I heard Zhang Shantong say this. Yu Ran was stunned. Somewhat surprised, he asked Zhang Shantong, "Don't you know him?" Zhang Shantong's face was also stunned. "Do I know that Necromancer? Could it be that they are the most powerful necromancers on the frontline battlefield?" Yu Ran was speechless. "What the hell? How did you become the commander of the city guard? There is such a powerful necromancer outside your city. You don't know anything at all. This is serious malfeasance." Yu Ran couldn't help but want to scold Zhang Shantong. But then she thought about it. Chang'an just changed jobs 3 months ago. Now 3 months later, he became the most determined strong man. Zhang Shantong doesn't know, but it seems to be a normal thing. It seems that he was wrongly blamed. Yu Ran figured it out. Then he opened his mouth and said to Zhang Shantong, "His name is Chang'an, do you have any impression?" Chang'an. Zhang Shantong thought for a while. The Chang'an in his own impression appeared in his mind. After all, it was 3 months ago. Chang'an refused Tianfu's invitation and ran outside the city to plant trees. There was an uproar in Feng'an City. Everyone in the entire Windscar City is discussing this matter. Even Zhang Shantong's wife and children have discussed this matter. Of course he doesn't know. But soon, he rejected the idea. What a joke. This Chang'an just awakened his profession 3 months ago. Even if he grew up eating rockets. Not even within 3 months. From a first-level necromancer. Grow to the point where you can summon undead like Death Knights and Bone Dragons. There is a Chang'an in our city. And a necromancer too. But he just changed jobs 3 months ago, so it's definitely not him. So, this is Chang'an you are talking about. Is it the newly promoted top genius from the Necromancer department of Tianfu University? Zhang Shantong expressed his guess. But Yu Ran shook his head. He spoke with emphasis. "I mean Chang'an. That's the Chang'an you thought of. Not Chang'an from Tianfu University. It turns out he is the new top genius from the talented university." Zhang Shantong habitually echoed, "I want to flatter that top genius from Tianfu University." But he wasn't done yet. The whole person was dumbfounded on the spot. The Chang'an he was talking about. Is this the Chang'an I was thinking of? That Chang'an who plants trees outside the city. Is this a joke? Impossible. Absolutely impossible. The one who summoned the bone dragon and the undead army. The top necromancer who single-handedly saved the entire Windscar city. There's absolutely no way it's Chang'an who went outside the city to plant trees. He had just awakened to his profession 3 months ago. Become a first-level necromancer. How could it be possible to grow to this extent so quickly? This is absolutely impossible, if there really is such a person. It took those 7 or 8 years to reach level 60. What are the recognized top talents? Are they a bunch of trash? These top talents are considered useless. It took them more than 10 or 20 years to do this. Who is the person who finally reached level 45? Waste within waste, super waste. Common sense built up over decades. Zhang Shantong couldn't believe what Yu Ran said. I believe Chang'an is the top necromancer who saved the whole city. Rather than believe this, he is more willing to believe. 563, Yu Ran was unwilling to reveal the true identity of the top necromancer. Or maybe the identity of the top necromancer needs to be kept secret. That's why I used this joking way to avoid the problem. So, after a long silence, Zhang Shantong said, if you don't want to say it, just say it. Using this kind of joke to avoid it can easily lead to misunderstanding. This person doesn't believe it. Seeing Zhang Pengfan's expression, Yu Ran understood his thoughts immediately. Because, before I just came into contact with Chang'an. Like Zhang Shantong, he also didn't want to believe it. I thought I was dreaming about a pervert like Chang'an. Until later I witnessed the facts again and again. I was sure again and again that this was not after a dream. Only then did I finally succeed in believing this. So he didn't say anything to Zhang Shantong. What I said is true. You decide whether you believe it or not. Anyway, you will see it with your own eyes in the future. After saying such a sentence, Yu Ran ended the conversation on this topic. And continued to the next topic. The leader of the cultists in the city has been killed. But those rampaging copies outside the city still exist. Continue to allow those rampant copies to exist. It will only cause Windmark City to be completely wiped out by endless monsters. Give me some manpower, and I will lead them to quell those rampaging copies. Yu Ran changed the topic. Zhang Shantong also followed this topic. Shang Yu responded. This happened after the monsters outside the city wall were eliminated. I've already made arrangements to do it. Now they should be quelling the rampaging copies of the first and second levels. But those rampaging copies of the third level cannot be dealt with by our strength. Is it only these copies that I need to trouble you for? Fine. Yu Ran shook his head. Just give me the coordinates of these copies. Thank you for your help to Windscar City. Zhang Shantong gave the coordinates of the third level rampage copy to Yu Ran. And expressed his gratitude to Yu Ran again. Yu Ran got the coordinates of the third level runaway dungeon. He also immediately left Feng'an City. The work of quelling the third level rampage dungeon has begun. And Zhang Shantong also broke up with Yu Ran. Then he arrived at the City Lord's mansion in Feng'an City. In the City Lord's palace, the City Lord Yun Hanming was seriously injured. Several priests surrounded it in the center. Waves of milky white color continued to pour out of the priest's hands. Yun Hanming is being treated. Sentong, why are you here? Is the cultist problem solved? Looking at Zhang Shantong who looked happy. Yun Hanming received treatment with a sad face. The look on his face was obviously much relieved. That's right, Zhang Shantong reported with joy. All the demon blood warriors in the city have been killed. The leader of the cult who held the ceremony for the evil god to descend was also killed. The crisis in Windscar City has been resolved. We are safe. Yun Hanming's face suddenly showed joy. He asked with a surprised look. What's wrong with you, kid? You're so powerful all of a sudden. This has nothing to do with me. Zhang Shantong smiled bitterly. Yun Hanming explained the situation clearly. After hearing the specific situation, Yun Hanming, finally, he sighed with emotion. It seems that we are quite lucky this time. Yes, Zhang Shantong also sighed with emotion. And continued to communicate with Yun Hanming. Then, I don't know why. Zhang Shantong suddenly got into trouble. Thinking of what Yu Ran said before. In the mood to share a joke, Zhang Shantong told this story. Speaking of which, the chief student of Tianfu who helped us. He also said that the necromancer who saved our Windscar city. It's the Chang'an who caused a commotion in our city 3 months ago. Do you think this is funny? The Chang'an who made a fuss 3 months ago. Zhang Shantong said this. Yun Hanming immediately thought of it. It was because of this incident at first. Yun Hanming also received verbal criticism from his superiors. He said that he did not do a good job in the ideological work of the people in the city. So after Zhang Shantong said this, Yun Hanming and Zhang Shantong had the same reaction. They all don't believe this. But the exchange with Zhang Shantong ended, while continuing to receive treatment from the priest. In Yun Hanming's mind, suddenly it appeared that he was still studying at Tianfu University. I once read one in the library of Tianfu University, about the end of the period of the arrival of the scars of the heavens, led humans to successfully defeat monsters that fill the entire world. On top of the ruins of ancient civilization, the group of human resuscitators who re-established human civilization. I remember the most powerful founder of Kyushu at that time. It seems that in less than half a year, I have grown from the awakening profession to level 60 or above. There is such a precedent. Now more than 100 years have passed. A peerless genius like Chang'an appears again. Doesn't it seem impossible? Perhaps what the Emerald Miracle said is true. Is it really Chang'an who saved the entire city? After thinking about it for a while, Yun Hanming called several of his secret guards. The Chang'an from 3 months ago. I want all his information within these 3 months. Yes, while Yun Hanming began to collect information about Chang'an. Following the first 2 copies, 7 or 8 second-level rampaging copies were suppressed in succession. And all copies received the highest S-level rating from Chang'an. After riding the bone dragon back to the outside world, suddenly discovered many first-level and second-level rampage copies. Everyone has entered a state where someone is clearing the level. Those professionals in Windscar City. Have you finally started to come over to quell the rampaging copies? Chang'an glanced at the runaway copies. Then open your own properties panel. I took a look at my current level. Even after clearing so many runaway copies, Chang'an's level has only been upgraded to level 29. My experience bonus is for level up and runaway dungeon experience. After clearing so many rampaging dungeons, you are only at level 29. No wonder normal professionals. It took more than 10 or 20 years to reach only level 40 or 50. Starting from the second level, it requires a lot of experience. Shaked his head, Chang'an turned his gaze. He looked at those third-level rampage copies. Level 2 rampage copies are left to the professionals in Windscar City to quell. As for myself, I will directly enter the third-level rampage copy. Since upgrading is so difficult, I will take advantage of this opportunity. Let's raise the level. Riding his own bone dragon, Chang'an entered a level 3 rampage dungeon for the first time. You have entered the second-level copy, Large Cemetery. Tip: destroy all the monsters in the cemetery to clear this instance. Close black lens bracket. Tip: the normal monster levels in this copy are level 10 to 33, and the boss level is level 35. Warning: due to the phenomenon of rampage in the dungeon, the level of the monsters in the dungeon is +10, and the level of the boss in the dungeon is +20. The number of ordinary monsters has been increased to 500%. Warning: due to the phenomenon of rampage in the dungeon, all ordinary monsters have been upgraded to elite level boss and the blood testicles have increased significantly. Tip: due to the phenomenon of dungeon runaways, the experience gained by professionals is increased by 100%, and the item drop rate is increased by 50%. Close black lens bracket. This is the first level 3 rampage copy I have entered. It's actually an undead type copy. Look at the copy prompt that pops up in front of you. Chang'an's face was slightly happy. Undead type copy, this is for other professionals. It is a copy similar to the previous Orc Fortress and Underground Fortress. But for necromancers, but it is a place where death crystals can be produced when killing monsters. Because there was no death crystal before. So much so that he has now raised his level to level 29. I haven't learned the skills of death specialization yet. Since now I have entered a copy of Undead Type 21. Wouldn't it just be enough to get some death crystals? Have you learned the skills of your own Death Master Specialization series? And, except for the Death Crystal, Undead copy for Necromancer. It's still a good place where you can control the undead. Just in time, take advantage of this opportunity. Give me the number of undead that my licks can control. Let's get them all to full value. The Necromancer can be directly in the undead type copy. Control undead creatures that are lower level than yourself. Until the spiritual power of the Necromancer. Until I can no longer control any more undead creatures. Moreover, these undead are controlled in the copy. Can be taken directly to the world outside the copy. Although the Lich is an undead creature. But he is also a Necromancer. Although the number of undead that can be controlled is not as many as professionals of the same level. But it can still control hundreds or thousands of undead. Now encounter an undead copy. Naturally, we cannot directly raise all the undead in this copy. Based on this idea, Chang'an did not let the bone dragon directly start slaughtering the entire copy. Instead, he summoned the 6 licks he had brought over. Choose some powerful undead and control them. Control as much as you can. The 6 licks immediately obeyed, walking towards the extremely large cemetery ahead. And as the licks approached, "Ooh, woo, w, woo," waves of misty and penetrating cries sounded. Countless ghosts emerged from the cemetery. These are supposed to be ghosts a little over 1 or 2 levels above level 30. Under the influence of the runaway copy, all of them have been upgraded to elite level 40. Enough to cause great danger to any enemy approaching the cemetery. But it's a pity, encountered by these undead, they are 6 licks who have reached level 50. One of them, or an elite lich enhanced to level 60 by Chang'an. Therefore, it is not yet time for this ghost to get close to the licks. The licks took action first. Control all the ghosts rushing towards them. Ooh, controlled ghosts. Instantly, there was no desire to fight anymore. Instead, they gathered around the licks. Protected the safety of the licks. Yes, this wave alone has added hundreds of level 40 elite ghosts. This time, I have a number of intermediate undead creatures in my hand. It can be considered a huge increase. Chang'an is very satisfied. Leave the Lich squad under the guard of the ghosts. Keep going deeper into this cemetery. Ooh. The size of this large cemetery. It's almost as big as a small city. The number of ghosts among them is naturally not small. The Lich team and the escorting ghosts had just advanced not far. Soon another group of ghosts appeared. Some of them are higher than the elite level. A ghost existence that has reached the boss level. But the consequences of these ghosts. It is no different from the previous batch of ghosts. Not yet close to the licks. There wasn't even a fight with the ghosts surrounding him. He was directly controlled by the Lich. That's all. The Lich team continues to advance. Hundreds of ghost monsters appeared. The number of undead controlled by the Lich squad. The limit was reached quickly. 3,500, just for a while. These 6 licks under me. I controlled 3,500 level 40 elite ghosts. This time, it's like making a lot of money. Chang'an showed joy on his face. Feeling more and more, these rampaging copies around Windscar City. It is an extremely huge wealth for myself. Because of these rampant copies. Not only can it provide yourself with a large number of dark gold equipment and top general skill books. It can also provide yourself with a large number of controllable undead. Give away so many good things at the same time. This runaway copy is not a cornucopia. What is a cornucopia? All the undead that should be controlled have been controlled. Next, it's time to kill the undead and harvest the death crystals. The licks took the ghosts into the summoning space. Chang'an also took the licks into the summoning space. Then, the bone dragon, which had been standing still before, started to take action. Wow, huge surge of air. A powerful level 70 bone dragon. Once again transformed into a horrific natural disaster. Wrapped in countless death auras that have turned into reality. The harvest of this runaway copy has begun. A few minutes later, a copy prompt appeared in front of Chang'an. Congratulations, you successfully cleared this runaway copy. This copy has been released from the runaway state. Close black lens bracket. Tip. After half an hour, the dungeon will be settled. Please collect the dropped items in the dungeon as soon as possible. It's over again. Even a 3rd level runaway copy. The monsters in the dungeon have reached level 40 at 960. The boss level has even reached level 55, a 3rd level runaway copy. He still hasn't lasted 10 minutes under the bone dragon. The bone dragon easily bulldozed the entire rampage dungeon. Let me see, this is a 3rd level undead rampage copy. How many death crystals were exploded for me? Chang'an summoned his skeleton soldiers. Let them collect the loot. Soon, under the collection of skeleton soldiers, the kill output in the entire runaway copy is harvested. All were sent to Chang'an. The output of this runaway copy is as follows. 6 pieces of gold level equipment, 3 skill books for the assassin profession, and 12 death crystals that Chang'an needs most. There is even a death core dropped from the boss. 12 death crystals, that's a good harvest. My level 20 and level 25 Death Lord series specialization skills. Everything can be learned, holding the death crystal in hand. Chang'an opens his properties panel. Started his own operation. Consumption of death crystal 1, you successfully learn the skill, death domain LV1. Close black lens bracket. Consume death crystal 5, you have successfully learned how to wear LV1 of death. Consumption of death crystal 5, you successfully learned the skill, death resurrection LV1. Close black lens bracket. Now more than a week after completing the career specialization, Chang'an finally learned himself skills for the level 20 and level 25 Deathlord Mastery skill trees. Finally learned these 3 skills. Look at how these 3 skills of mine are doing. Finally learned the skills on the Deathlord skill tree. Chang'an tried his skills with excitement. Death Realm. His mind moved slightly. Chang'an activated his first skill. All of a sudden, the rich aura of death turned into substantial black energy. Suddenly rushed out of Chang'an's body, covering all undead creatures within 100 meters around Chang'an. And these undead creatures covered in black energy. The aura of death in his body also suddenly surged. It has obviously become stronger than before. Not bad. Looks handsome. Chang'an is very satisfied with this. It's equivalent to an army of the undead. Chang'an's own personal strength is actually not that important. After all, if someone can really wipe out the entire army of the undead, Chang'an really has nothing to do with him. Therefore, Chang'an only has one requirement for his skills. That's handsome, and the blessing method of this death realm just meets Chang'an's requirements. Go on, let's take a look at the other 2 skills. Chang'an continued to look at the other 2 skills. But due to the death resuscitation skill, a corpse is required to use it. And there are no corpses here. So Chang'an directly tried the 3rd skill. Rain of Death. Chang'an pointed lightly towards the distance. Countless ones condensed from the breath of death. Gray-white raindrops carrying a strong sense of death poured down. Crazy attack on the square plot of land with a length and width of more than 30 meters. The effective damage range is thousands of square meters. The direct range is a bit wide. Ordinary professional. Even the mage profession. Maximum strike range at level 20 or above. Generally, it is only tens to hundreds of square meters. Moreover, it is a skill with extremely low lethality. And I am 10 times as powerful as an ordinary mage profession. As for lethality, Chang'an took a look. After being struck by the rain of death, the entire land has sunk several centimeters. Just the physical impact of the raindrops was of this magnitude. In addition, the death energy damage caused by the raindrops is also included. No matter how you look at it, it's not considered a skill with low lethality, right? Therefore, for my own Rain of Death skill, Chang'an is also very satisfied. The skills in the Death Lord specialization skill tree are all good. Look at the higher level specialization skills, and the LV2 level effects of upgrading these 3 skills. Chang'an clicks on the Death Lord specialization skill tree. Check out your skills. Skill, Death Domain, LV1 right pointing arrow LV2. Effect, cover all targets within the user, 100 right pointing arrow 200 meters with a strong power of death. Within this range, the damage caused by your own undead units will be increased by 10%, and all attributes of enemy units will be weakened by 10%. Learning requirements, level 20, Death Crystal 5. Skill, Death Resurgence, LV1 right pointing arrow LV2. Effect, resurrect the 10 right pointing arrow 20 corpse units designated by the user into undead. The strength of the undead is the corpse's life level, -5 right pointing arrow -4, which lasts for 35 minutes. Learning requirements, have learned Death Domain LV2, Death Crystal 10. Magic, Rain of Death, LV1 right pointing arrow LV2. Effect causes moderate damage to targets within a certain range, intelligence 0.1 right pointing arrow intelligence 0.12, and adds a death curse, and the damage received increases slightly. Learning requirements have learned Death Domain LV2, Death Crystal 10. LV2 upgrade of 3 skill trees. There have been reinforcements in different directions. And the increase in strength is also very powerful. The level improvement is much more powerful than that of ordinary professionals. The only headache is, the death crystal consumption of these skills has been greatly increased. If you want to learn them all, a total of 25 death crystals need to be consumed. In addition to these 3 skills, in the skill book of the Death Lord specialization, there is also a level 30 skill. Skill, Death Burst, LV1. Effect, designate 5 undead creatures. The designated undead creatures will enter a burst state, and all attributes will be temporarily increased by 50% for 30 minutes. The target level cannot exceed level 60, and after the end, it will enter a negative state where all attributes are reduced by 25% for 30 minutes. Learning requirements, level 30, Death Crystal 10. This skill, very strong. Among the warrior's melee specialization skills, there is a skill called Madness. After use, it will increase all attributes of yourself by 50%. The duration is also 30 minutes. The subsequent weak state also lasts for 30 minutes. But the warrior's Madness skills, it can only be used by the owner alone. And Chang'an's Death Burst skill can kill 5 undead creatures at the same time. If you do a direct conversion, Chang'an's skill is almost equivalent to the Madness skill of 5 warriors. The skill tree skills of this Death Lord specialization. One is really more powerful than the other. It's just that this consumes too much. If you learn all 4 skills, I need 35 death crystals. Clear a level 3 undead runaway copy. Only 12 death crystals were dropped. If you want to learn all 4 skills, you need to clear the level 3 undead runaway copy at least 3 times to make it possible. I hope I can enter the 3rd level rampage dungeon later. There can be more undead type rampage dungeons. With this thought, Chang'an ends the loot waiting time. Directly entered the final copy settlement link. Congratulations, you have successfully cleared the level and the runaway copy. Orc Fortress is now ready for clearance and settlement. Close black lens bracket. Checking the clearance time. End. The clearance time is 12 minutes and 50 seconds. The difficulty of the dungeon is rampage level, and the evaluation of passing the level is improved. If you challenge the dungeon by leapfrogging, the evaluation is increased to S level, and the time to pass the level is increased, and the evaluation is improved. Congratulations, your final clearance rating is S. Although when letting the Lich control the ghost, wasted some time, but the time it took for Chang'an to clear the copy this time, it still only took 10 minutes. Among the highest rated ratings. So, Chang'an is a given. Got another S level rating. Next, look at the runaway copy of this level. What kind of reward can you give me? In the expectation of Chang'an, the rewards for clearing the dungeon appear. Congratulations, you have received a huge experience reward too. Congratulations, you have obtained gold level equipment, Ghost Cloak. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained dark gold level equipment, Ghost King Mask. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained the general skill book, Intermediate Agility. The runaway copy will definitely drop the intermediate general skill book with random attributes. Close black lens bracket. We haven't reached the S level evaluation bonus stage yet. Just your initial reward session. Dark gold level equipment appeared. After receiving the S level evaluation bonus this time, what level of equipment will appear? Look at the rewards for clearing this copy. Chang'an's heart became more and more looking forward to it. And in the midst of Chang'an's increasing expectations, the bonus reward tips for S level clearance evaluation are coming as scheduled. Tip: since your clearance evaluation is S level, the quality of the rewards you receive this time has been improved. The improved rewards are: Huge Experience Reward 2 Right Pointing Arrow, Huge Experience Reward 10. Equipment: Ghost Cloak Gold, Right Pointing Arrow, Ghost King Cloak, Dark Gold. Close black lens bracket. Equipment: Mask of the Ghost King, Dark Gold, Right Pointing Arrow, Face of Ghosts and Gods, Legendary. Close black lens bracket. Skill Book: Intermediate Agility Skill Book, Right Pointing Arrow, Top Agility Skill Book. Legend. After the evaluation bonus for this S-level copy, a piece of legendary equipment actually appeared. This is a level higher than the dark gold level. Equipment that is only one level lower than the strongest mythical equipment. It is only on the battlefield of the Scars of the Heavens. By killing those warlord level and king level units, it is possible to explode the top equipment. As a result, I ended up clearing a runaway copy. Got a piece of legendary equipment. This is so cool. Look, let me see. Look at this legendary equipment. How awesome is it? With strong curiosity about legendary equipment, Chang'an opened it first. The attribute panel of this legendary, Face of Ghosts and Gods, equipment. Equipment Face of Ghosts and Gods legendary. Attributes Spirit plus 150, Intelligence plus 20. Entry 1. All undead creatures under the owner of the weapon have plus 5 levels, and the maximum level cannot exceed level 60. 2. The level of all ghost units under the owner is plus 5, and the maximum level cannot exceed level 60. 3. Undead creatures above level 60 under the owner of the equipment will have their main attributes plus 500 points, and participate in the bonus of all professionals. Requirements Level 35, Necromancer Profession, Humanoid or Humanoid Face Shape. The total increase in attributes reaches 170 points. It can increase the level of all undead creatures under your command by 5 levels. Let the ghost's level increase by 5 additional levels on this basis. This is simply an artifact for Necromancer professionals. I have this piece of equipment. Even if it is an ordinary Necromancer profession, I'm afraid it can also be invincible within the same level. Become more powerful than special professions, rare professions and hidden professions of the same level. As for whether it falls into the hands of Chang'an, Chang'an looked at the 3,500 ghosts controlled by the Lich. These ghosts were originally caused by the runaway copy. The level has been raised from level 30 to level 40. If only I could get this bonus from the Face of Ghosts and Gods. You can directly reach level 50 for all members. 3,500 level 50 combat units. What concept is this? Wind. Yun Hanming, the Lord of Hen City. He is just a professional who is over level 50. The team of demon-blooded warriors left the entire Windscar city helpless. There is only one level 60, 2 levels 55 and 2 levels 50. After having this ghostly face, Chang'an means that his subordinates directly have 3,500 city lord level combat power. This is equivalent to having a team of 70 demon blood warriors. Just relying on these 3,500 ghosts, it is equivalent to the combined combat power of thousands of Windscar cities. Quote. It is indeed a legendary piece of equipment. The attributes and terms added by this equipment. It can be called terrifying, simply invincible. Chang'an couldn't help but sigh. Then very solemnly, put the Face of Ghosts and Gods into the space backpack. There is no way, although this ghost face is very strong. But it requires level 35 to equip. And my level is not even level 30. Please, that's not right. It should be there now. Chang'an opened his properties panel and took a look. After clearing this level 3 copy, and after getting the experience of clearing the level reward, my level has reached level 30, 21%. If only I could clear all the remaining level 3 runaway copies. It is estimated that you can get a level of 35. Come on, try to raise your level to level 35 today. Then successfully equip this ghost face. Chang'an cheered himself up. Then, he couldn't help but think of another point. I cleared the 3rd level rampage copy this time and got a piece of legendary equipment. What about the next level 3 runaway copy? Would it be possible for every level 3 runaway copy in the future? Can I get a piece of legendary equipment? When I was cleaning up monsters all over the city, Chang'an glanced at the runaway copies. Among them, the 3rd level rampage copy left the deepest impression on him. So he remembers it very clearly. There are a total of 7 level 3 rampage dungeons. If I clear all 7 runaway dungeons, wouldn't it be possible to get 7 pieces of legendary equipment? 7 pieces of legendary equipment. Not to mention how many of them you can equip yourself. Even if none of them can be equipped, just take it out and sell it for money, and exchange it for natural essence. That's an absolutely astronomical figure. Quick, quick, quick. Keep picking up the speed. Strive for the fastest speed. Pass these 7 level 3 rampage dungeons. Get these 7 pieces of legendary equipment. Chang'an was even more excited and looking forward to it. Rushing towards the level 3 runaway copies. Relying on the extremely powerful power of the Bone Dragon. Coming out of the first level 3 runaway copy. After entering the second level 3 runaway copy. Chang'an again, within minutes, complete this third level rampage copy as well. Then, after completing the collection of drops in the instance, Chang'an received the reward for clearing the dungeon. Congratulations, you have received a huge experience reward too. Congratulations, you have obtained gold level equipment, Yulong Longbow. Close black lens bracket. Congratulations, you have obtained the general skill book, intermediate physical strength. The runaway copy will definitely drop the intermediate general skill book with random attributes. Close black lens bracket. Then go through the bonus of S level clearance evaluation. The original rewards have been upgraded too. Tip: since your clearance evaluation is S level, the quality of the rewards you receive this time has been improved. The improved rewards are: Huge Experience Reward 2 Right Pointing Arrow, Huge Experience Reward 10. Equipment: Yulong Longbow Gold, Right Pointing Arrow, Fire Dragon Fighting Bow Dark Gold. Close black lens bracket. Skill Book: Intermediate Physical Skill Book, Right Pointing Arrow, Top Physical Skill Book. Not only are there no legendary equipment, even dark gold level equipment. Only one. Look at the list of rewards after being upgraded to an S level evaluation. There was an obvious look of disappointment on Chang'an's face. I thought there were these level 3 runaway copies outside Windscar City. Each one can provide himself with a piece of legendary equipment. Is this the only result? Chang'an is very disappointed. But fortunately Chang'an can enlighten himself. That's right. Where can legendary equipment be so easy to obtain? I was able to get a piece of legendary equipment that time before. It's already. My luck has exploded. It's just a return to normalcy now. And even if it's just dark gold level equipment, they are also very good equipment. After all, many people struggle all their lives. You may not be able to get a complete set of golden equipment. I just think of it as working and making money. It only takes a few minutes to make 10 or 20 million yuan. Where can I find such a good job? After giving myself such enlightenment, Chang'an's fighting spirit was immediately rekindled. Continue to ride your own bone dragon. He rushed towards the third copy of Rampage. But just when Chang'an came to the sky above the third runaway copy. But he is underneath the third copy of Rampage. I saw you ran with an elf and a group of natural creatures. You ran. She has already come out to quell the rampaging copy. Have all the cultists in the city been eliminated? Chang'an feels like this. After all, no matter what. Yuran is also the #1 academic institution in Kyushu. The chief student at Tianfu University. And he also gave her a necromantic knight as a helper. If you even have such power, none of them can deal with the cultists in a small city like Windhen City. Then these cultists can probably compete with the Kyushu official. Even directly replace the Kyushu official. But solving the cultists will solve the cultists. It's not okay for you to come out and steal the third level rampage copy from me. Go down and say hello to her. Chang'an patted the bone dragon beneath him. CBEB, the bone dragon immediately adjusted its direction. Dive towards you. Ran on the ground. On the ground. Moon Dai and Night Elf Sword Dancer Rachel. Just about to enter this third level rampage copy. But before they could take action, a huge breath of death. It just appeared in their perception. Danger is approaching. No, it's a bone dragon. Escape quickly. Rachel looked up at the sky. His expression suddenly changed. He immediately wanted to take Yuran away with him. But Yuran held Rachel's hand. He shook his head and said to her, "Don't worry, that's not the enemy." Yes, Yuran didn't know how to describe the relationship between myself and Chang'an. In the end I could only say, "Friend, this is our friend." Friend, Rachel thought before. The Death Knight under the command of Yuran. The necromancer who gave you the Death Knight. Right, Yuran nodded. Rachel then became quiet. Look up at the bone dragon in the sky. At the same time, I couldn't help but feel a little curious. Curious about this necromancer. What kind of person is he? Only then could Yuran be such a natural professional. Treat a necromancer as a friend. She had a premonition. This necromancer. It's definitely not what I remember. That kind of lifeless thing, dealing with corpses all day long. It looks like it has the traditional impression of being half buried in the soil. Just like Rachel's expectations. Boom. The huge bone dragon fell heavily to the ground. Set off a turbulent air current. Then, Shulong lay on the ground. The lower jaw of the head was pressed tightly against the ground. Chang'an's figure slowly walked to the front of the bone dragon's head. Looking down at Yu Ran and the others. Is this the necromancer? It doesn't look like it at all. And, on his body. Why do you still have a vague feeling of being loved by nature? Even though I have already prepared in my heart. Rachel still couldn't help it. I was slightly shocked by the appearance of Chang'an. If it weren't for Chang'an's feet, the existence of that extremely docile bone dragon, Rachel would never believe it. The person in front of him turned out to be a necromancer. Yueran, the one beside you. An elf. Rachel looked at Chang'an at the same time. Chang'an also discovered Rachel. Look at this one with lavender skin. A night elf in an ornate suit of armor. Chang'an's eyes showed curiosity. Before coming to this world, creatures like elves have always appeared frequently in various novels. After coming to this world, although I have never seen an elf with my own eyes, but we can also learn about creatures like elves from books. There are still rumors from time to time. A druid brought an elf back from the Emerald Dream. Chang'an has even heard of it. There really is such a thing as ancestral elves in this world. Now, after hearing so many rumors about elves, I really saw the elves with my own eyes. And he is still among the elves. They are also relatively rare night elves. How could this make Chang'an feel curious? Yes, she is the contract partner I made in the Emerald Dream. Rachel, the elf sword dancer from the Night Elves. Yu Ran was not secretive. He very generously introduced Rachel to Chang'an. Chang'an nodded, but I had no idea of further understanding. Although he was very curious about elves. But after watching it and satisfying my curiosity, that's enough. If you're bored, you can summon her to accompany you in my forest. Chang'an did not continue the topic on Rachel. Instead, he went directly to the topic and said, also, you don't need to worry about these first-level copies outside the city. Leave it all to me, I just need these copies to improve my level. Finished. The bone dragon under Chang'an immediately took off. With Chang'an, he rushed into the third-level rampage copy selected by Yu Ran. Do you need a monthly copy to upgrade? Yes, he is probably only in his 20s now. You really need these rampage copies to upgrade. I knew Chang'an a week ago. Yu Ran, who was promoted to level 20 through a level 1 runaway copy. It was easy to accept Chang'an's arrangement. Even further. But next to Rachel, but I haven't realized what Chang'an said at the beginning. Yu Ran, what did he just say? He has a forest. A necromancer has a forest. Did he call the cemetery wrong and call it a forest? Rachel looked at Yu Ran in confusion. Yu Ran felt suddenly happy. Appeared, after me, another person who is surprised that there is a forest in Chang'an. With a kind of, the thought of seeing the shocked look on Rachel's face. Yu Ran pretended to be calm and said to Rucho. He's right, he does have a forest. And it was planted by him himself. A great forest of oak trees. Rachel had a question mark on her face. We've been friends for such a long time. Are you using this digestion to insult my intelligence? She looked at Yueran unhappily. Are you kidding me? The necromancer will also plant trees. And an oak forest was planted. Is there such a necromancer? Do not believe. Yu Ran glanced at Rachel. Come with me, I'll take you there. Let you see it with your own eyes. What is an oak forest planted by a necromancer? Yu Ran was extremely excited. He took Rachel towards the oak forest. She couldn't wait. I want to see my elf friend. My jaw dropped at the scene in Chang'an's oak forest. This is the forest planted by Chang'an himself. Standing outside the oak forest in Chang'an, Yu Ran was very proud. Showed Rachel this oak forest in Chang'an. Rachel looked toward the forest. Although the area of this forest is large, but the oak trees inside don't look like they've been growing for a long time. Even the biggest one, it looked like it was only a few months to half a year old. As for the more peripheral ones, then it is simply still within the range of saplings. Judging from these saplings, it sure looks like someone planted trees here. But, Even if someone plants trees here, that doesn't prove it either. Was this forest planted by the necromancer? A forest planted by people. But how can you prove it to me? This is the necromancer. Rachel was about to continue arguing with Yuran. Ask Yuran to come up with evidence that proves that this forest was planted by Chang'en. But she wasn't done yet. In the forest ahead, a goblin and a tree spirit rushed out. Of course, this didn't surprise Rachel. What really surprised Rachel? It's the undead following behind them. There are also some Darth Vaders, liches, and a Death Knight. Moreover, although the undead are following the two natural creatures, but it didn't look like he was chasing them at all. On the contrary, it looks more like he is protecting the two of them. Or are undead creatures protecting natural creatures? What's wrong with me? How could such an illusion occur? Rachel felt like she was hallucinating. But her hallucination, those two little natural creatures. But he brought the undead to them. Sister Yuran, you are back. Sister Yuran, welcome back. Leah and Yaya are very enthusiastic. He flew in front of Yuran and greeted Yuran. Then he asked Yuran very urgently, "Where is father? Didn't father come back with you?" Sister Yuran, is father okay? Is he injured? Don't worry, make sure he's safe. Yuran responded to the two little guys with a smile. And explained Chang'en's current situation to them. After getting good news from Chang'en, the two little guys suddenly became happy. No more worrying about Chang'en. But I heard the explanation next to me. Rachel learned about Chang'en's relationship with Leah and Yaya. But the entire elves were dumbfounded. The necromancer named Chang'en. A forest was actually planted. Even, he is still in the forest. Quote, created natural creatures like goblins and dryads. This necromancer, what is going on with him? Rachel suddenly understood. Why when I saw Chang'en before, I can vaguely feel the natural affinity from Chang'en. It turns out that it was not an illusion. But it's true. On that necromancer, it's really natural and friendly. Otherwise, it would be impossible for him to cultivate natural creatures. But, a necromancer ran to plant trees. And it also cultivates natural affinity. Even natural creatures have been cultivated. How is this possible? Rachel's common sense told her that this was impossible. But the reality is before us. But she couldn't help but believe it. And as she experiences a tear between common sense and reality, Leah and Yaya also discovered Rachel. Sister Yuran, is this elf your friend? Sister Yuran, was she also caught by her father like you? Leah and Yaya were very curious. Asked Yuran about Rachel. Yuran looked at Rachel, who looked doubtful about life. Don't mention how happy I am. He was simply happier than having Rachel shocked like this. But she didn't show it. Instead, he suppressed the smile on his lips. Pretending to be nonchalant, he said, "This is Rachel. The contract partner I made in the Emerald Dream. They are sword dancers from the Night Elves. She doesn't believe that Chang'en planted your forest. So I brought her over to see you. Don't believe that the forest was planted by your father." Leah and Yaya were immediately unhappy. This forest was planted by my father. Leah pointed to the forest and said, from a wasteland to a forest with over 900 oak trees. My father planted them one by one. Without father, there would be no forest, let alone us. That's right, Yaya also said together. I am the first oak tree my father planted. I can prove it too. The two little guys were very protective of Chang'en. Prove it to Rachel. As for Rachel, Rachel was speechless. These two nature spirits still defend the necromancer like this. He even calls the necromancer his father. Isn't this enough proof of what is true? She was completely convinced. I believed that a necromancer planted a forest. But Yuran still felt that it was not enough. I also want to give Rachel another big surprise. See the scene where Rachel's worldview collapsed. So, she continued to introduce Leah and Yaya to Rachel. Rachel, this is Leah and Yaya. The spirit of nature cultivated by Chang'en. By the way, Leah is the fairy queen, and she's also the soul of the forest. Leah and Yaya were introduced. He immediately showed himself happily. Especially Leah. He held his head high and showed great pride. And Rachel was completely numb. Fairy queen. And it's the soul of the forest. In such a new forest. A forest soul like the fairy queen was born. Oh my god. In the night elf kingdom where she lives. There are countless legendary and powerful demigods in that night elf kingdom. In the midst of an ancient forest that has been carefully cared for tens of thousands of years. Only one forest soul fairy was born, and this necromancer. But in such a new forest, bred a fairy queen forest soul. Isn't this justified? The moon goddess is here. What on earth did I go through today? Because of too strong a shock. Continuous flushing. Rachel even had a got played look on her face. And Rachel's expression, it also made you ran even happier. It's so interesting. It turns out that things that shock others are so interesting. You ran felt extremely happy in her heart. Couldn't help but give birth to it. I want to bring more people to know Chang'an. Then shock their minds with what happened to Chang'an. And bear the brunt of it. It's in the Druid College of Tianfu University. Those Druid instructors who are not very talkative and keep a straight face all day long. If those stodgy old guys see this, what kind of scene should it be? Yu Ran is looking forward to it. Feng'an City, on the street in the residential area. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Yi Lingyan led a team of city guard soldiers to search for the remnants of the cultists. Suddenly stopped, pointed to the mobile houses among them. Right here, this is one of the strongholds of the cultists. The city guard soldiers behind her rushed in immediately. At the same time, he kept shouting, "Go, rush in. People inside, listen, you are surrounded, surrender without killing, surrender without killing." After a while, soldiers of the city guard, several cultists with obvious bloodiness on their bodies came out. "Teacher Yi, you are so accurate," the captain who took the lead said with admiration. "This is the 23rd place. I never missed a catch. How on earth do you do it so accurately?" Yi Lingyan shook her head. His expression was very calm. Pointing at the ghosts that kept coming and going above him, he said, "Didn't I tell you that it has nothing to do with me? My student, Chang'an, found these ghosts for me. I wouldn't have found these cultists without them." The captain took a deep look at the ghosts. The shock and surprise still lingered in the corner of his eyes. "I couldn't help but apologize again. Sorry, even though you keep stressing this. But there's really nothing I can do. Put the Chang'an from 3 months ago. Get in touch with Chang'an, who has saved our entire city." Yi Lingyan shook her head. "It's okay, don't say it's you. Even if it's me, even now, I'm still wondering if I'm dreaming." The captain and Yi Lingyan looked at each other. There were wry smiles on all faces. "Yes, I just changed jobs 3 months ago. And Chang'an is considered a coward by everyone in the city. He suddenly transformed into a top powerhouse who saved the whole city. This gap is really too big. Who will replace it? No one can believe it so quickly." Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe my channel.